Anyways, DM, D&D.
D&D?
D&D?
D&D.
D&D?
D&D.
So-
D&D?
Oh god, that's so good.
Last session,
Lots
Anyone?
of great things happened.
who wants to do a recap?
Holston.
I was literally just clearing my throat, but all right.
Well,
I was gonna say I could do
I
it.
mean, now let's be fair. Would any of our characters remember what happened last week?
I studied a lot and got drunk afterwards.
Sure, I'll
'cause
talk.
all you
I'll
guys
talk about up
partied
to the
without
point that
me.
I remember.
that's fair.
All right, so we began the day by further discussing what to do about the viscount, because I believe it was Teak and Hephe who came up with the idea on how they could propose bringing back the viscount in a different way instead of going out to get all these heinous supplies. Let's see. I know that Decorm sent a letter ahead of us to Roubel, because we were still thinking about going to Roubel, because a lot of the times we kept running into the same thing. Well, if we are going to do that, we're going to need components, and therefore we need to go to Roubel, because we're not going to get them here. But as it turns out, after suggesting to Eros and Vasia?
Yep.
Okay, got that right. That she did have the components to do the revivify and everything. So we're like, oh, sweet, let's just try it here and now. And if it doesn't work, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Oh, shoot, I skipped a part. In between that, I showed you guys the tavern, the warm horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we figured out that we should go talk to Vasya about the Revivify components and see if we can just do it that way.
We did some light day drinking, and
The bartender was very happy with us.
We made that bartender's day. We pet a cat. And I snuck a bottle of wine into my bag, which came in. It was a special tool that helped us later, because we ended up doing the revivify. We all helped resurrect him in our various ways. I think a lot of people were using charisma, and then we got the viscount back, and he was very shell shocked. And his brother was ecstatic, and we were like, we did a great job, so let's go drink. But Azri had to stay behind to get some spells in from Vasya, because she was really cool about the fact that, you know, we helped bring her boss back, so she was like, you can have some of my spells. And we all started drinking a lot. Azri ended up on the ceiling. Teak ended up on the roof. 3 of us threw up. I got drunk enough to, I'm going to regret this when I wake up, but tell you guys that I don't like being Jasper.
That was hilarious, actually. Won't lie.
And
Good
now
delivery.
we are waking up with mad hangovers. Did I miss anything? Anyone else?
Well, firstly, I will say it was Fluke's idea
Knew you were
to
gonna-
get. Yeah. Though he did instantly go to Teak, because Teak is the smart one, and Teak says, "Well, there could be complications." He's like, "Oh, complications, that's a thing to consider." To where Hefe's like, "Nah!" And Fluke's just like, wait.
Yes, I do remember you being a bit more the voice of reason on that one, and really, like, I think you were the lawyer in the room with the physician talking to the patient's family about how, this surgery could potentially have irreversible effects.
I mean, that's been kind of Fluke's role to a degree. He comes up with ideas, but he's like, I mean, I don't know the specifics, I just have this idea. What do you guys think? But then Hephe was so gung-ho, and then afterwards, when it worked, he felt really bad because he didn't have faith in Hephe, but he was really concerned. And then Hephe was really nice to him, he's like, aw. It was awkward, but they made nice. Also, Fluke juggled daggers. That was...
Yep, that was another thing.
Many of us figured out which alcohols we prefer.
We gave those troops the best fucking night ever that they've had in months. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we put on a show.
I even cast Beacon of Hope, a 3rd level spell for them. All right.
We made a relationship with that bartender and allowed him to make upgrades.
Yeah, that bartender's gonna make upgrades to that bar, and when we come back, that bet to be wide selections.
This is
Wide selection.
we RPG side quested him just like, oh, you want some investments? Like I didn't even ask. No, you're taking money.
It's gonna be good enough that the visiting officers are gonna come there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It might not be open in time for Creop.
Who knows?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think that he's the kind of person to sit and drink with troops. But I mean the other ones, you know, the ones that like also don't want to be there.
So, is there more anyone wants to add?
Not inherently, other than like the party time. You guys partied for 6 hours without me, and that's right. As we got so drunk, is because she tried slamming all of her drinks.
That's
And
fair.
I believe Hephe at one point was gonna send message to me and then didn't, and then tried. And then when I got there, he was being more Hephe than normal.
I wasn't drunk.
You were being more Hephe than normal.
So I think what we said last session, since all of you wake up with massive hangovers and a lot of like blanks in your memory, except for Decorm, who just has a mild hangover.
Decorm
He
didn't
was
drink
very
it.
specific about keeping it to only wine.
Yeah, we went all across the board for the rest of
I
us.
mean, whiskey and beer isn't that bad. I'm sorry, whiskey and ale.
As someone who's been
And
whiskey
gin,
drunk before,
and
I beg to
rum,
differ.
and vodka.
I didn't have gin or
and-
rum. That was them. They,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. I still got like a 2 on my con save, so it makes little difference. I think.
So
He's just whining.
at some point throughout the night, could I say that I cast Sending to Thargarak to let him know the Viscount's alive?
I do want to hear you say this, like speak that as a very drunk Hephe sending that message, though.
Okay, that's fair. Hold on. Let me okay.
Having a good time. Having
yeah.
a great day. You gotta call up your buddy. Tell him the good news.
Yeah. Minotaur,
35
Centaur.
words.
Vatars are coming together. Thargarak, good news! I and everyone saved the Viscount. We wouldn't have been able to do it without Pool of Health. Just thought that you should know, and we're partying right now. We're gonna talk about more important stuff tomorrow. I'm sure that's more than 25 words. So at some
Yeah.
point,
It just cuts off.
I love.
We're
I
gonna-
love that- I love that he wasted one of his words on That's very drunk.
Also, I. You get a very like sleepy message back, as he was just asleep. That's good, I think. I'll be there in a day or 4.
you better be more than think that it's a good thing we save the Viscount. What the hell?
I just got a very rambling message while he was asleep, okay?
He was drunk. Message.
Do you message him again?
No.
Say
Hey,
that?
hold on, Hephe.
That was my last,
respond when
last
people
third level
message you.
spell.
This was the first hint.
I'm just gonna say, friends don't let other friends cast messages on people while they're drunk. Okay, especially
Listen.
not to exes.
Listen, I was just telling them, guys, we gotta let Thargarak know.
Thank
I mean,
you,
he's
Clow. You
gathering
heard my
the
joke.
Minotaurs. Do you want the Minotaurs to show up and just find that the Viscount is fine when they've been told that he's dead? Do you really want the Minotaurs doing that? No, you gotta let me tell. Come on, let me tell Thargarak. I mean, he was
Who are
with
you
us the whole
talking to?
time. The people that are saying that I can't cast Sending while drunk.
No, we made a like don't sending when you're drunk. Don't send message to your ex when you're drunk. Kind of jokes.
I'm
I was like-
casting Sending.
Like
It's
that was.
not my ex. It doesn't apply. I'm casting Sending.
I'd like to imagine that Hefe's hearing us talk to him in his head right now when we're not actually there because he's drunk. Now listen. I know you guys are saying this is a bad idea, but it's a great idea. At the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Hephe setting up a different voice and it's like, no, this is a bad idea. It's a very good idea.
So, where is breakfast served in this place?
There are there's next to the barracks where you slept the first time, and I think you slept there every time actually. So you probably slept there again. Next to it, there's like a large communal dining area with a kitchen next to it with like most foods aren't like prepared as it were, but there's enough stuff in it to feed an army, so you can just grab some and make your breakfast.
Are there? I assume I probably wake up as first.
Probably.
Are there any other soldiers or people there?
There's a couple just like finishing up their breakfast and getting ready for the day.
You, boy.
Yes, sir.
Are there anybody here who's traveler, a messenger boy, who came from Roubel or that general area lately?
Are you expecting a message, sir?
No.
I'm not sure. Not that I know of.
Okay. Thank you, Mist. Enjoy your breakfast.
And as he like scrapes the remains off, and you too, and he moves away.
Decorm will sit down and eat his probably meager breakfast.
Probably meager breakfast.
So for the people who got super drunk, does anyone want to roll initiative for the fun of it?
Roll
I mean,
initiative.
at that point, it's
Oh, who
checks.
wakes up?
Oh,
At that point, it's what?
Well, I'll say like while Decorum is having his breakfast, anyone who wants to say they woke up and can join the scene, as it were.
Azri is accustomed to hangovers, so she'll probably wake up relatively around the same time that she normally does.
which means you probably wake me up.
I do. Wake up. Run time. It's been years since we've done a morning run. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. Morning run time.
Did you just fucking say running?
Yep, morning run. Been years since we've done a morning run. Morning run time. Let's go. And she's gonna hop out of bed and get her gi on. Let's go.
Is this what you fucking do? I say
Every
this, I
morning-
just sit up.
This is how you met me. You know this is what I do every morning. Let's go.
No.
Run time.
I can't fucking see straight. I say as I probably start putting on the wrong boot.
Oh, that's right. This is your first hangover.
Keep
Oh
your
my
fucking
God.
voice down.
Oh, okay. You get the morning off. Go have breakfast. It'll help. Be back.
You want me to put food in my gullet?
She looks at you. The greasier, the better. Trust me. Go get yourself some bacon, some ham, and some meats, and you'll be fine.
I almost walk out the door just as I am before I turn back around, and I am like just saying obscenities
Armor.
under my breath as I'm just like tying up my hair and slapping on that wig and just sloppily putting on a fucking liner.
Oh, that's right. The disguise.
I'll roll for it, see how well I do.
Am I hearing disadvantage?
It sounds like disadvantage.
DM.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know,
sounds
you
like
guys-
disadvantage.
All right. I still get to use dexterity though, right?
I think that's what you used last time.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
Hey.
So
I'm
when
using muscle
18
memory.
You've done this often enough, so it still looks fine. Like it's not as good as it was yesterday, but
I'm hungover.
yeah,
So everybody's gonna
you
attribute
really
it to that.
can't be bothered about that right now.
DM, I did want to ask just a minor question for bookkeeping, not even a big deal, but those 4 daggers Fluke was juggling last night, that party was crazy. I don't know if he would remember to give those back. How do you think that would have gone
Just
down?
wake up with 4 new daggers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Like, you've kind of forgotten about the whole deal yourself, but you wake up and like, hey, new daggers.
I mean, yeah, he'll find a spot
Where
for
did these
them,
come from?
so- yeah, he's just gonna slink out of bed,
Way
toss
to
his shit on.
roleplay. 3 daggers.
No, just fucking. Oh, I wonder how much I paid for these. Counts gold. Oh.
I got a little seasoned new daggers. Oh boy, I hope I didn't pay too much. Sweet.
Now he's more concerned about slinking out of bed. This is his first hangover ever, and he's just like basically stumbling to the bar, just to wherever Decorm is, just like, I want 5 slices of wheat toast buttered, and not a thing else.
Asri will pass you guys as she's gonna try to go on her morning run. Basically, she will get breakfast upon her return.
Okay.
Ezra, where you going?
Gotta do the running thing. I'm small, not strong. Gotta be fast.
Which running thing?
The thing I do with my legs, where I run around and keep them in shape despite being hungover. She's actually gonna pull out her flask.
Have
and
we
be
ever
like,
seen you do that? That's why I'm surprised.
We've only seen each other traveling. We've never actually been in a base for multiple days like this.
Hmm.
Oh, right. I guess you... No, I try to go on runs when we're not on a daily travel, but... It's been a while since I've actually been around a place that I could actually run, if that makes sense.
I've got like bacon in my hand. I'm like, we went for a run yesterday morning before you woke up.
But, bye.
Why do you
That
hate
sounds-
yourself?
That
Why
sounds
do you hate
fun.
me?
Maybe some other time when my insides aren't on fire.
I just
You want the
imagine
toast,
Asri
right?
doing that.
You
What
want
did
the
Decorm
toast,
say?
right?
Toast.
5 slices buttered wheat.
Okay, I'll get you that. Is there any hot sauce near?
Make an investigation check.
I love it. The second Decorm said he would get him that, I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Fluke was literally about to say, and I think he will say, Decorm, that's the nicest thing you've done for me so far.
Not that you can find.
I'll bring him his toast.
Funny thing is, I don't know how if he would like the hot sauce or not, because I, as a player, love spicy things.
Well,
You
there's
did that
still
to
a
me in
big
real
difference
life, I'd be
between like liking spicy food and expecting buttered toast and getting spicy buttered
Spicy, yeah. It's like biting
I don't
into
know, if that
spaghetti
was
and it's
me,
chocolate.
I don't know if that was me, I might be like, huh, that's pretty good.
Where's
and
Hephe?
he is going to totally attack the, like, I know only a few people have seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, but this is like kind of scene.
Is Hephe still asleep or is he also getting up?
No, Hefe's sleeping in.
Okay. Then, as all of you are having your breakfast, what's her name?
Teak?
No. Oh, right. Teak also at some point
Teak
should
is
probably
dead.
wake up. But at some point during your breakfast, Fascia actually comes walking downwards. You look relatively well this morning. We've celebrated, I see,
You didn't?
a little that we could hear the bar from over here. So
Oh,
I
Then
know.
my sincerest apology.
Oh, it's no problem. We all understand.
How is
Anyway,
the viscount? Oh, sorry.
I did come to tell you that the viscount, once you've all gathered up back, would like to see you to have a chat. Let's say that.
Is Dad mad?
No,
Is
no.
Dad mad?
He wait, no, you're not even there. I think. You're just
Yeah.
on your bar,
I'm not.
so-
That was me. That was
Oh,
me.
Well, I'll wake up the horseman and we'll be right up.
Oh, don't. You don't need to hurry. We've made sure that he has. Let's say he has plenty to do, but nothing on a schedule, as it were. So
It's the good life.
make sure you're ready.
Will do.
Basically, she's trying to tell you, like, take your time to look presentable over being there quickly, as it were.
Clean yourselves up.
Do you know that Presti Presto thingy?
Oh, yes, of
Prestige.
course. And she'll... what do you need cleaned?
No, spiced up.
Can you do that with prestidigitation?
I think so.
Let me see. You chill warm flavor up 1 cubic feet of non-living material.
Spicy's a flavor.
I'd say yeah, that falls under that.
Hell yeah. Go Decorm.
What do you need spiced up then? It's a mean way to wake someone up. I'll do
Does
it,
she
but
say that?
yeah, she says that.
I'm gonna side
Who do
eye
you
her
shit?
for a bit.
Who do you
and
need
it's
woken
like,
up?
And I'll look at Fluke with his little toast.
At this point,
Realize-
it's just bits and pieces scattered about.
You know what? I'm fine. Thanks anyway. I'll make sure that everybody is presentable.
Thank you very much. And she gives all of you a nod and goes about her own business. So,
I look over at Fluke and I say, "Did I throw up last night?"
Damn sure.
I don't think I saw you throw up, but me and Ezra certainly did, so I think you probably did as well. I think Hephe was the only one that could handle the sampling we kind of went a little gung-ho about. You know, meat is terrible.
I'm just like pressing against my temple, thinking about what little reputation I've been building up here.
Either at what point does Hephe wake up, or does someone wake Hephe up before that? Same for Teak, actually. I'm sorry, Flub, I'm gonna ask you to play Teak again.
Okay.
I was about to go up after that conversation. Just slowly go there to wake them up.
Okay.
Knock knock, sleepyhead. How y'all doing?
Teak will just kind of lean up and then flop back down for a second. Like, I don't think I like this part of drinking.
I'm doing great. How's everyone else doing?
Fine enough. The viscount wants to talk to us.
He wants to talk to us, man. I haven't slept in this long in ages. I feel great.
You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think I'd look better if I was in like full plate armor?
Sorry?
Do you think I'd look better if I was in the full plate armor?
No. The wood's been good to you. You look well rested. Your packs are packing.
I like it. I like it.
I don't know if there are a lot of lady horses around here.
Excuse me?
I don't want to be offensive. Would that work? Would that work? Does that seem desirable to you?
I don't know. Have you ever thought about just, I don't know, maybe fucking a dragon?
He probably has.
I wanted to say that.
They are royalty.
Wait. Oh yeah, that's a thing that you all have here, huh?
Yeah, indeed. So, I would consider it quite a high honor if one of the princes wanted to spend the night with me.
Well, oh, y'all
Are we
weird
sure
out
Decorm
here.
is the bard? Like, I'm gonna say this, with all the shenanigans and everything. I know he's a paladin, but are we sure?
I mean, let's put it this way. I don't speak horse, so I don't know what the horse is saying. I can't get consent, and I don't even want to think about it.
That's all the answer I need. I have a lot of people I also don't want to think about. So, make sure you're dressed properly. You too, Teak. Or
Does that mean
Teak.
plate armor? Or does that mean what I'm wearing right now?
Sending me mixed signals
I
here,
think
man.
you'll be fine now.
So I'm dressed properly.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. Also, did you happen to sell my armor?
Teak did.
I did. My bad. That's something that happened last episode. I don't know how much money that was, but I'll say
It was like
Teak
35
gives-
gold, I think.
Something along those lines, I think. Yeah.
30 gold.
Quinn,
I thought it was
30 gold.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
the 30.
Don't remember
put-
what happened last session. Knew how much we earned from the chainmail.
We sold it to the guy personally.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, is there breakfast still?
Sure. The rest is also there.
All right. I think I'm gonna go down there and get some eggs. I love eggs.
Yeah.
I love eggs.
Teak, you managed to come down or need a hand?
Teak, I'm fine. I'm gonna go down and get some food right now.
Do you want some eggs too?
Sure.
All right. Let's go get some eggs.
About that,
I
when they
start
get down, there's
galloping
probably
towards
when
eggs.
Azriel get back from her run.
Yep.
Woo.
Decorm start collecting proper wear for the meeting.
Of course. Do you have anything in mind, or?
No, for the he's wearing what he's wearing, the plate.
Okay.
For the rest of the people,
Yeah, but also for them, like, if you have anything like if you have any like idea of how you want to dress them, as it were.
a dress for Teak because he's a dame. I don't know. What does Fluke wear?
You can also first go to some other scenes so that you have a bit of time to think about it.
Sure.
Then you can just enter when you have your clothes, as it were.
Nice looking leathers and a cloak. He has been considering getting something more like one of those long fancy coats.
So, the rest of you, everyone except for Decorm, you're having breakfast together. Probably fairly quiet.
At first.
I have to say, Jasper, I really liked you last night.
Did I do something?
I mean, you were just so honest, and I just thought you should really, know that you're all right.
And she's like nodding, but also like desperately trying to think of what the fuck she said last night.
I think you just gotta be more confident in yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I like everything you're doing with your leadership and how passionate you are about ensuring the safety of the land.
And I just smile.
I'm turning red as I start talking, by the way, because I'm not used to this.
Your face matches your eyes.
That's what she said.
And I start drinking water because I don't know what else to do with myself. So, how often do you all do this, by the way?
The drinking thing from last night? That was kind of just a special occasion. That's the first time we've done that, I think. We did it when we first met. We had some drinks and asked each other questions and kind of get to know each other, but usually it's just a little bit of, traveling with some nips here and there. Nothing that heavy.
Well, that was one thing, but there's also, like, all of this, Communing with gods and demons and running into things like that.
I mean, I was born that way.
Yeah, I will admit, since meeting Hephe, it has increased greatly. By like, it started happening.
Infinite percent.
You know,
Oh, no,
while
you
this is
broke.
still new for me, apparently I was born this way as well.
That's true. Hold on. She's gonna point to Fluke. You brought this shit around too.
I mean, didn't seem
not
to happen
complaining.
when I stayed home.
Well, of course it didn't. I don't know. Of course it didn't. She's just kind of like sitting there, like it's nothing bad, right? It's just
I explored
happened.
dungeons for years without people trying to throw nets on me. I mean, there was that one
or
time.
they were just really bad at throwing nets.
There was that one time, but I think those Dragonborn were just being assholes. I don't think they were cultists.
I mean,
Not that big a
can't it be
difference.
both?
Wasn't that one lady a dragonborn?
Yes. The purple scale one exists. The purple scale. All hail the purple scale. All hail the purple scale. I would not say that ever though, because Fluke would probably I don't know. That might be thinking too much to go on.
I wonder if Decorm has those clothes already. He said that I look good just the way I am, but he might not like the way that all of the rest of you look.
I don't.
What's wrong with the way I'm
But I got
dressed?
some stuff for y'all.
Oh, hey, hi there, Decorm. What you bring?
Well, for Fluke, a cloak? I feel like that's what you might wear most of the time.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a nice jacket, like a nice doublet or something.
Well, I got you a cloak.
Okay, fine. Look, I'm just saying I might need to get some fancy wear at some point, but I don't expect there to be a tailor here.
For Azrae, a suit. Because I thought that would look neat. And it's
She
a
will-
white suit.
Take it and look down at her gi and look back at it and contemplate whether or not she's actually going to put the effort into changing right now.
I mean,
And
Fluke's just gonna take off his current cloak and put up on the new one. Is the new one fancy in some way? It's got some nice trim or something?
It's
Is it just the same cloak and Decorum's being an ass?
Oh my god, that would be hilarious, but I don't think he's trying to make us look good for the viscount.
it's probably
Yeah.
got some nice
Or-
brocade on it.
for you, as he looks at porcelain, because he doesn't remember the name he's supposed to say,
Which I appreciate.
I thought it. I mean, James seemed right.
It's close enough.
I got you a jacket embroidered with James, so everybody knows you're James. But the way you're looking at me makes me think it's not James.
I'm going to say I could go put on the plate armor I got yesterday. Would that be better?
If your name's not James, it probably would.
I nod and I pat I'm sure the arm that he's got the jacket hung on and I say thank you for the thought.
Luke, do you want a jacket that's 4 times too big for you?
I've got an idea. Is there anyone named James here?
That's fair.
Make a charisma check, Porcelain.
Oh fuck.
I mean, are they mostly are they mostly human? Because that's a common name.
Oh,
Not
son of
20.
a bitch!
That 19.
So, as you yell that, 2 guards happen to walk into the kitchen area, and one of them, "I'm James. Can I help you?"
It's weird. You knew I was coming?
He's also just kind of intimidated by the group of like very powerful people that's suddenly in front of him, calling his name.
Intimidation check. Let's go.
I
Can we
say,
make a group intimidation check?
And he is already intimidated, so
Nah.
I take the jacket and I say, "It's your lucky day by convenience," and I hand the jacket over. Take this off my hands.
thank you.
Your lucky day by convenience.
You don't sound very
You know what?
thankful.
He kind of looks it over and says, "This is exactly my size. How? Who are you?"
Who
are
are
you?
you?
We know. But this is not a gift.
His name is Jasper. My friend here thought his name was James. Turns out it's not, and you know, it's your lucky day by convenience. Now move along.
I was going to get breakfast if...
Oh, here. Do you like eggs? I love eggs.
I was gonna get breakfast. Oh, you want food? My bad. Come on in. Let's food up.
Sit with us.
So
I
him
thought
and
you just
the
heard his name being called. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
guard that came in with him start making the breakfast, and at like a safe distance away from you, they start eating and having a bit of a chat.
I have like 2 plates of eggs. I just give him one of the plates.
Oh, here, you like eggs?
He'll hand you like half of them back. And says, I don't think we'll eat that much, but thank you.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're smaller than you, Hephe, by a significant amount. We require less food to survive.
but they're just so good. As I just keep eating them.
Yeah, but if you eat too many, it's bad for humans to eat too many eggs. It causes the other veins to get all clogged up.
I mean, then you just gotta take a nice bath, right? Oh,
No,
wait,
no,
you
no.
guys-
The
you guys
veins
don't
on your
have-
side side.
Wait, you guys don't have a bath like I do. Oh.
Do you have a bath that can clean your blood veins, Hephe?
And do you have 4 stomachs?
Side eyes. Yes.
I think this is a moment where they're both just kind of looking at each other like, all right, this is a thing we now know.
Porcelain's gonna go put on her plate armor.
Okay.
Did you have a specific white suit in mind, Decorum, or any white suit?
I brought you this one.
Looks to just called for a picture in general. Nope.
Just imagine the white violin from Umbrella Academy.
Okay. Man,
Nice
the
to
fact
Google
that you
that.
call her White Violin is directly from the comic books too. Like,
Oh, okay.
I know my shit.
I don't.
I mean, like,
Dang.
I didn't think you didn't.
Anything you want to do before heading out to the viscount?
Nah, let's go.
Go.
All right then.
He's viscounting on us.
Well, as you enter, he it's at this point in the room above where you first met him, and he's this large office with where chairs and just a kind of open space for Hephe have been set out, and behind the desk he was sitting just reading, and then as you come in he closes his book, and he still seems like kind of weaker than... It's a bit strange. He physically seems weaker than he did before, but mentally, now that he isn't being chased anymore, now that he is like in his office where he knows his stuff, as it were, he seems mentally actually a lot stronger than when you met him last time.
Sure, it feels
And-
more in control.
He points at the chairs and he says, come in. Well, I wouldn't say we have much to discuss, but I would rather get into it. And you can see there's a kind of small metal contraption on his desk with within it, kind of like similar to how you have those globes, you know. But it's just a like light blue glowing ball, and he kind of gives it a twirl, and as it starts spinning, you see kind of like very quickly a couple of light flashes going out of it. Yes.
Okay.
The rest will be here soon. Anyway, let me begin by thanking you properly for saving my life at least twice.
You're welcome.
Damn right.
I understood that a proper reward for the second time has yet to be given. And I understood from my brother, and he looks at Hephe now, that you have a peculiar request from me.
I mean, by peculiar, do you mean protecting the life of everybody that you know?
I mean specific.
Oh, I mean help me fight the fire spirits that are coming to kill everyone that you know.
That seems like a reasonable request.
Oh, I mean, hooray!
He's been so ready to have an argument with somebody about this. It's great. That seems like a reasonable request. Oh, shit. All right, let's go. Everyone's been so wishy-washy about making decisions. I guess this is why you make the decisions.
But what I do want to ask, and for brevity's sake, we can skip this in game. But can you tell me exactly what you know, so we know what to prepare for?
He does that.
I do that.
So after that, in that case, and I honestly, I don't hate to do it because I'd rather have all of you closer rather than far. And he focused on Teak. Do you think you'd be able to help us with the magical defenses against these fire spirits we have in the watch?
Yeah, I was actually. I noticed that there was a few holes in here or there in the defenses that would be more than happy to help Vasya patch up.
I begin
Well-
reciting all of the defenses I saw that were subpar.
He actually hands you a list, and if you could add those to the list that my brother made, then we can get going with this. There's to Teak, from what I understand, it's more than a few holes. It's just that the entire mechanics don't work anymore. But I say will, but you and Vasya probably will be able to make something out of that.
I think we can work with this.
And at this point, I'd say that at least his brother walks in. And he says, now to your reward. I think you've already been familiar with our armory.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you our real armory. And he
What?
stands up and he'll gesture you to follow him, and he'll actually, while walking out of the door, he will say, "I would ask you to keep quiet about this to both Vasya and Eleni. They are trusted allies, but they also have their own goals, and we have secrets here at the Watch, I should say." And
Anthony,
go ahead.
Anthony, I never really liked you. It is pretty goddamn funny. I salute you.
I may not like you, but I salute you is what I basically just heard. I love it.
I mean, that's a weird flex, but okay.
Real quick, I do have a question while we're doing this because his demeanor is so much different. Can I ask insight to make sure he's still the viscount? He's just more comfortable in this setting than when we were traveling, and or if it's something else.
Yeah, make an insight check.
I hate to.
With an 11, he just seems to be very excited to be alive.
Okay. I had to make sure because before he was like, I don't want to say Carl from Jimmy Neutron, but he was Carl
but-
from Jimmy Neutron. And now he's like Sheen. And I'm like,
Yeah, that was what I was kind of like getting at with this mental state of like, hey, I'm not being hunted anymore. Hey, I don't have to travel on the road facing bandits anymore.
yeah.
I'm back in control, guys.
Everybody here does what
know
I
it's hard
say.
to imagine a person right now that's not stressed, because everybody is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is like it's one of those that's just suspicious. It's kind of sus, dog. Might have to vote you. Anyways, new
So,
armory. Better
He'll
armory.
lead you to the old armory, and as he moves in, there's this on the back. There's this large tapestry on the wall, and he will take this off, and there's more wall behind it. But as he does so, after that, he takes a bit of his saliva from his mouth, and he kind of streaks it on the wall at the spot, and the wall just starts shifting and moves aside, and there's a
Just
door.
Wet Willied the wall.
My jaw drops.
Yeah, I know. Fluke will hear in his head. Oh my God! What if that's how you're special? What if you have magic spit?
Oh my god.
So, to give an explanation, we have a lot of, well, I don't want to say your types, but we have the adventuring types and a lot of the smuggler types, and they often like to not pay for things or get irrationally angry at minor inconveniences. And then we put them in jail. Sometimes we have to take a lot of their stuff. And all of that stuff end up here.
This is the contraband.
So, I am going to point out two things. And he points out they are very clearly laid out and very obviously seen, but one is a glaive, and the other is, at first it seems like someone just saw a leather-bound book and thought, what if I made a square out of that? As it is just a leather cube, as it were.
I go and check that out.
And as you try, he kind of holds you back and he says, so except for those two items, feel free to look around and pick one or two things that you like.
Hold on, I have to look.
And for easiness sake, we're gonna do this in a similar way that we did a very long time ago when Ma rewarded you.
Oh my God! Back when I was
Oh.
fucking Pulse.
And let's do this one by one because that's easier. Let's start with Decorm. What are you looking for? Or are you looking for anything specific?
I would say a weapon for sure.
Okay.
Maybe any weapon would be interesting for him. What would Decorm be looking for? Something that looks stylish, looks like it looks expansive. For the sake
Okay.
of Hephe, he will look preferably for something with bludgeoning damage, but it's not necessary. Like if there's a sharper knife of gold, that's better.
Okay.
So that. And magic.
Could
Needs to radiate magic that he doesn't understand.
He needs it rated.
Could you roll a d40 3 times?
3d40.
Hey, group.
No, please make them 3 separate rolls.
Oh,
That makes it
Right.
a bit
Am-
easier to check.
Am I
That's
the
one.
Wow, 2 natural ones on a d40.
Yeah.
Still 2 natural ones. Why did it change twice?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, am I the only one without dark vision?
I do not have it either.
Okay.
I
never
got
mind.
it.
Because
Also, a question: are the viscount and his brother still here?
Yeah. His brother is standing at the entrance to the thing and has closed it back. Just to make sure that. Oh no, actually, he would be on the other side of the thing and has made it look again like there is nothing there. And the viscount himself is standing with the glaive and the leather-bound cube.
Which, for the record, I shared what I feel to be an appropriate GIF of that one. I'm gonna throw that on screen real quick, just if I can find my Discord.
I've had so many things to toss in this session.
Open
So-
original.
As you start looking around Decorm, the first thing that catches your eye is a helmet. Give me 1 second to look up how it looks. It is.
I didn't like that laugh.
It isn't very magical, but it has this fake magical tint to it. It is the full paladin helmet over the eyes and over the face that's with not horns but this things on the sides and room for a feather up top. And if you do try it on, it makes your eyes glow red. Other than that, it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
It does make it more intimidating.
Can you make an arcane check? Because this
Sure
could
can.
be. This would definitely. The second one would definitely be an item that Decorum could recognize.
Could, I love that. Could recognize.
With a 16, I'm going to say yes. As you look further, more to weapons, you recognize very clearly a javelin of lightning.
Huh.
That's funny.
Anthony,
Yes.
what do you know about this helmet?
Oh, that was an odd one. A couple years ago, I think. Maybe even a lot more. Well, a long time ago, a knight came here, claiming to have been sent by. And now I have to look up the count or countess from this place. I don't have their name at the ready for now, but. I think we said right. We tried to check that, but for a long time our messengers didn't report anything until we found out that the knight, had been seeking out his messengers and killing them in hopes of gaining our trust in the meantime. He was a bit of a deranged fella. So we had him executed.
Good call.
This is helmet. If you want to take a look, we also have his axe here, and he'll come back with his large, massive axe that he is carrying. It does seem, when we checked it last time, it did seem that it is just slightly cursed.
Actually, his eyes furrow when he says it. Only slightly cursed.
Well, it's the type of curse that once you use it, it's difficult to stop using. Well, not even that.
It's an addiction type stuff.
What do you call it? It's attunement. Once you're attuned to it, you can't unattune from it.
I look to Hephe. Is that something that Pool of Health could deal with, maybe? Removing curses and things?
I mean, yeah, I can remove curses.
Asri's going
Well-
to sit and ponder.
Maybe.
Other than-
Oh, sorry.
No, go. Other than that, the X seems to be, or seems quite fearful, or quite powerful, I should say. No, I'd say, Decorm, you can at least recognize it's definitely a +1 X. And what other magical abilities it has, you can't immediately see.
It seems a ways to split up the pair. And
Oh, you-
my friends could maybe remove the curse so it becomes a less dangerous item if it gets into the wrong hand. So maybe I could have both.
Oh, of course. Honestly, I find the helmet a bit creepy.
Yeah, me too. That's why I love it. I'm gonna put it on my mantle.
I
Scare
can
my
imagine
cat
it
friends
has its uses for someone in your job.
Yeah, exactly. Scaring off unwanted dinner guests.
I'll send to you what the X does. And it is quite a powerful X that he's... So, next person, who wants to go?
I'll give it a shot. Asri would be trying to look for either any sort of items to make her fist punch a little harder or any sort of magic scroll or book.
Okay, so, sorry, I did say who wants to go first, but then I focused on typing, so I didn't hear.
That's fine.
Blob.
I'm going. I'm sorry. I was typing something real quick. I was gonna say that Asri would be either looking for something that would make her fist punch a smidge harder, or looking for any sort of magical books and or scrolls.
Okay, then for you also 3 times a d4. D40.
Is it gonna? There we go. Boop. Boop. And boop. Oh, a 5. How is this? Why is this playing in the playlist right now?
We don't know if low is bad.
Yeah, but it was the only single digit I got.
True.
For me, it was a javelin of lightning.
You're right. That's not necessarily the worst item out there, right? At the very least, I can sell it somewhere else.
I don't like it.
Fair
There
enough.
was one other item that Decorm technically would have found if you want to try it, but that would have been a Yun Stone of Substance. Your last
Wait,
item.
There was a helmet there. He's not gonna look at rocks.
Yeah, but someone else might want it.
Of what did you say?
Okay,
Of
it
sustenance?
has one other ability, Cherry, but I'm first gonna finish this before we get into that. With the 38, and as you're looking through like the less like armory equipment and more something that you could use, you find a pair of boots that definitely have been enchanted. And as you pick them up, they seem basically weightless. They feel like it's like unnaturally light are these boots, and as you look over them, you actually notice that there's a label on it that says "Boots of Levitation."
Oh! I will keep an eye on those as I'm looking around.
Under the arm, just like, okay, what else?
As you are at the boots right now, you look further and you find another set of boots. These ones are much heavier, and they seem to be very stuffed and warm, and they are boots of the Winterland.
Okay. I don't know if she needs boots. I have Featherfall, so boots of levitation realistically don't really do me much, so...
And as you figure that you don't really need boots, you walk a bit further and you find these sets of jewelry, and one thing catches your eye, which you realize is a amulet against detection and location.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Then next person.
Well, I suppose I'll go.
I was about to say, someone go.
Somebody.
Anybody.
All right, so I think
What are you
I
looking
would,
for first?
yeah, I'd be looking for either a better sword, definitely a finesse weapon, preferably a rapier. But other than that, I think anything that would. Let's see, where am I lacking? I'm definitely lacking in charisma. I guess anything that would help a person blend in. I'm sure they do espionage things all the time. Other than that, maybe something to help with the speed. So let's give it a shot. D40. Go. That's not right. D.
Flash is on the wrong side, I think.
I know. Son of a.
Do you require?
It's just a bit difficult because I've got the the laptop still up on my stand that I use for when I draw on my tablet. So I'm like raising my elbows up to my shoulders to type right now.
Get a 37.
Get it.
Oh.
My! We'll just. You can hit the arrow up button and it will just take the last thing you typed.
Yeah, okay.
Or copy and paste.
You can copy and paste, but the arrow enter.
All pretty close to it, though.
You know that's fair. You had very good
I'm
grouping.
trying
if this
my
was
best,
shotgun.
coach.
I was gonna say you had very good grouping, and if this was a shotgun blast, it would have been one hell of one.
With the 35, you first come across a set, or multiple sets of armor actually, but the one that catches your eye is a very sturdy, but still light-looking one. And as you go over it, it is an elven chainmail, wait, it's not. Yeah, chainmail, which is chainmail armor, but without any requirements for strength.
Ooh. Seeing that it is elven, though, I will say.
It is a +1, so it's 14 instead of 13 with the.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna.
Medium armor.
I'm definitely gonna want it if it's a +1. You said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
good.
it's-
It's medium armor, which means you get to add some of your decks, too.
You.
But because you're now wearing light armor, right?
I got plate armor last I
Oh,
saw,
right.
so it's heavy armor.
Then
Oof.
okay, then you definitely can, but it won't. I don't think it will increase your AC from the.
But you won't have disadvantage on stealth checks.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm in such a decision right now.
Where your AC change? How much?
Because plate should have 18, I think.
Yeah, let me double check.
And then you
Sorry.
said this is Elven Chain.
With this, it would be 14 plus 2 of your dex, so it'd be
So
16
16.
with the elven chain.
That is
Whereas
a decent
plate
downgrade.
is 18.
Yeah.
That is a decent downgrade. You're 10% easier to hit.
But you don't have disadvantage on stealth, so.
I'll be honest, I don't necessarily like metagamey. I'll be real with you on that one. I don't necessarily think you need the stealth on that because we have Shorty Squad. That's at
I was
least
gonna
somewhat.
say, like, what are we usually sneaking around for anyway? Let's be honest.
That's my thing.
Exactly. On a rare occasion, if you need a second pair of hands, I hope that I don't mess up.
Yeah, I think I'll pass this one up, but I will say, Viscount Anthony, if I may.
Of course.
Where did you acquire this?
This is one of the more unfortunate ones. It's been here for quite some time. In the time of my grandfather, we had a lot worse relationships with the clans outside. And during that time, an attack happened. And one of the attackers wore this.
Well, quite a story, I say. Thank you. And I'll move on. What else do I see?
With your 36, still with the armors, you find a set of half-plate armor. It's also medium armor, plus 1 this one as well.
So, not much of a difference there either. All right, let's move on.
I do think that's
Hold
a lot
on.
better. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
allowed
that would
to
be
be
Yeah.
16 plus 2, so that would be also 18.
Oh, okay.
But-
and you
and-
wouldn't have disadvantage.
No, it's
You
just
would
half
have.
plate. Half plate
Half
is still
plate is still.
disadvantage.
Oh, it is.
Still
I was thinking-
disadvantaged.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
no,
I was thinking of breastplate. My bad.
yeah.
Wait. Because I will add that it's not something we've paid attention to before, but you
The
wearing
weight.
plate, technically would require a strength of 15, or your speed is halved, I think. It
Yes.
isn't a big
Ah.
difference, but it is a thing.
I thought I had heavy armor proficiency being a fighter.
It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
have the strength
Oh, it doesn't
requirement.
matter. All right.
Just you.
So half plate might be the best choice for you. then.
Yeah, I suppose I'll do that then. I'll take that. Let me just change up my sheet.
Before you do that, let's look at the last item you find.
Ah,
That
Just to
and
be
as well
sure.
as you have plate armor you can go sell for like
A
expensive.
lot of money.
Yeah, I think that's like normally 1500 GP. So
1,500.
yeah, so you'll probably get at least like $1,000 off of it. So you'll be
Huh.
as rich as us. Oh my god, it worked out! Oh, everything's turning up porcelain. Didn't say that in character despite character voice.
Oh, she just needs to work towards getting better strength. Now. We're gonna get plus
The last
strength.
item, you find porcelain, also a set of armor. And as you look at it, and then you look at the helmet that Decorm is carrying, you realize that those are probably connected, as it's a set of heavy armor. Which, make an arcane check, actually.
da-da.
Oof.
Yep.
Which you don't recognize, but it's heavy, of it's plate armor, and it seems very magical.
Is Teak still with us?
Yes, she would be.
Oh,
s-
I didn't realize I was still here. I was lost in my own head.
I would say, Dame Teak,
Yes.
would you take a look at this for me?
Sure, I'll go ahead and take a look at that.
And I closed Teak's character sheet because I thought that was conversation for some reason was. You know what? She will, since she's got 4 spell slots, she'll cast Identify.
Okay. This is what is. Well, there are many versions of it, but it's called Demon Armor. It, once you attune to it, it is very protective, and once you attune to it, you deal a lot more damage when you're hitting things. But it is also has a habit of taking over their wearers' bodies and then just start attacking things at random, as it were.
So, what would Teak have to roll to know if the armor does that and that the helmet doesn't, or if I should warn Decorm that the helmet does?
I say she. Teak would realize that this set of armor is at its own enchantment, as it were, and that the helmet, aside from it, is also in itself its own item.
Gotcha. Just making
Like
sure.
that's also why they were separated when they were stalled out here.
Okay. I'll be honest. This is connected to that helmet that Deki got, but I think I know why that person started attacking people. This armor isn't good armor. It's made by demons, and if you wear it for too long, it'll make you just start randomly attacking people.
Oh shit.
It's very protective, though. You'll be very safe. but others around you might not be.
Perhaps we best leave it as a conversation piece.
I mean, I could just. I think I'm gonna remove that curse right now. That just sounds like bad armor.
It is bad armor.
So
He's like, I don't want anyone wearing that ever.
And
Does
I will
it
say with this one, as you remove the curse, it is still very protective, so it's still +1 plate armor. But the extra damage dealing enchantment fades with the rest of the curse.
Actually, that's fine.
Oh,
my
Probably
work here
still
is
best.
done.
I'm not strong enough to wear this. Is Decorm strong enough to wear this? Would he be interested in making a full set?
Well, of course I would be, but I feel bad asking for more than we deserve.
Especially since that would be. If you take that, I don't know if you can get the chainmail or the +1 that you got.
Oh, yes.
I would feel bad asking. Me would feel bad.
If I may, I'm going to be staying here, so I don't necessarily have any need for any items. Would I be able to ask if Decky can have that for my payment, since he's going to be going out there and possibly getting attacked?
Well, I think so. If you really want it, you of course would deserve your reward. But Decorm himself seems apprehensive. And
Well, I'm not one to challenge the opinion of a knight. That would be rude.
Then consider this your orders from Dame Teak. You are to take that armor, protect yourself, and return back to the snoozing watch and give me a story.
Yes, ma'am. And he'll grab me, immediately start putting it on.
I mean, do you want me? Do you want me to uncursify that helmet too?
Oh, the helmet isn't cursed. The
It's only
axe
the
is.
axe. Yeah.
Oh, the axe. Gotcha.
Might should look into the axe before we do that. I mean, as long as it's
Sorry, Quinn.
as long as it's not making you murder people, you might lose some potency out of it. We can always we can remove it later when if depending on what the curse is. It looks like the axe will simply not allow you to replace it, so we can simply remove that curse when it's no longer convenient to us.
Well, I have it in my hand right now, and I feel bloodthirsty. Well, it feels bloodthirsty.
The actual
Don't kill me.
bloodthirsty. All right.
Don't kill me.
So can I boop the axe? I really don't. Are you hold on? Are you taking the axe into your possession? Like, is this?
Yeah, he had already asked for it.
And is that something you want me to remove the curse then?
I think it would be safe. Safer.
I'd
Okay.
say after we're done with this, maybe Teak, if do a ritual identify on the axe, maybe. Mm-hmm.
I think I can do that.
And she will actually start doing that as he gets into the armor, since I think heavy armor is 10 minutes anyways.
Yeah. That is actually true.
Quick question,
Oh,
DM.
Sure.
That was half plate armor. That was +1 half plate armor, or it was just half plate armor? Okay.
+1 half plate armor.
Sweet.
As we're talking about the axe, because you sent me the thing.
Yeah.
What's the you can use a bonus action to go berserk, and then you attack things near you. What's the difference from attacking things near you?
You must attack things near you.
Okay.
Hostile things near you. I've changed that of the thing because I don't want the Decorm just to start killing everyone around him.
Well,
Thank you.
But
strategy question. While I'm attuned to it, and I give the axe to somebody else, could I then activate the berserk thing?
yes, but it would still work on you. So you would still be the one going berserk.
Punching things.
I appreciate it.
axe.
That's my horse.
Hey, if we ever need me to be brave and reckless, okay. And with the remove curse, is the add addition to hit points also removed?
No, this one with remove curse, only the attuned part is removed.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I mean that's what we're figuring out by the identify.
Yeah.
So Hephe will get to remove another curse soon.
It was honestly with the armor, without the curse of the armor is like ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we're gonna wait until we figure out what everybody else has because it's gonna take 10 minutes to figure out what that axe is. Because maybe I won't have any more remove curses.
Yeah, I'll post the thing what I also sent to Cherry in the chat so everyone can see it.
Like removing the axe is not a priority. Like
Okay.
you can also do it
Yeah.
once he finds a different weapon. He'll just remember. It'll probably be a little bit my precious, but
No one here needs the axe, so that's okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to use it? I'm not going to.
So
I don't know.
Fluke or Hephe?
Oh, do I get rolls? I thought mine was that he joined the war against the fire spirits.
Well, as he said, that was a very reasonable request, so he doesn't feel like he has rewarded you properly enough.
Oh,
That's
well,
not really like, yes, you're our ally and we will go to war with you. That's how these things work.
I mean,
Oh, you want me to protect my home? Oh no, that's such a big reward to give you.
I mean, if you want to give me more, I was happy with just your word of giving everything you could to fight. But okay, I'll give it a look through. I'll give these horse eyes a look.
Look-see.
Horse eye.
These horseman eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, those boots would have been better if it wasn't cold resistance. I mean, cold resistance is still good, but...
I actually didn't even hear what those boots were. I just heard there were more boots and I was like, no thank you.
So Hephe, what are you looking
This
for?
really likes it better.
And 3 times D40.
I guess maybe I'm looking. Like I honestly don't have. I don't. Maybe I'm looking for a wide variety of things. I'm easily satisfied. It could be a shield. It could be spell components for
Okay.
Revivify or other things. It could be some utility thing that maybe makes it so that way I can, maybe I walk quieter, or maybe it's something that gives me dark vision, or some kind of maybe fire resistance like Cherry posted in there. I'm not gonna be too particular. Maybe something that increases my spell DC. That would be baller. But 3d40 separately, right?
Yeah.
I was also going to say, like, Featherfall's not going to do you very good against something flying, but you found something you liked.
Good, let me check real quick. So, as you're looking around, your mind is still a little bit with the whole fire thing. And almost as if it's calling to you, you find a small bottle. It is corked in, and it has a label that just says fire spirit.
What?
I'm gonna look at the viscount and I'm gonna say, have you already started capturing the fire spirits?
Well, these phenomena of fire spirits appearing have been going on for a long time, but that specific bottle, a long time ago, I honestly don't remember, a very long time ago, during one of these events, one mage came back very bloodied and wounded, but he showed us this and then died before he could tell us anything about it. We guessed he had captured one of the spirits, which is very brave but also very foolish.
By chance, and I know you said it was a long time ago. Do you recall the name of this mage?
Let's have a check for it. Not with a 4 on his dice. No, sorry, I'm...
I was but a boy.
I was what a wee
Well,
little
not
lad.
even, he wasn't even born yet.
Oh!
Oh, Jesus.
Even better. I didn't even exist.
As we said, he just don't have a lot of records from him. He showed up when the fire spirits showed up. Then he disappeared for the entire battle, and when he returned, he was dying.
And what does everyone think would happen if I just uncork this thing right now? Would that free the fire spirit?
Probably free it.
Do it.
I mean, I do not want to free the fire spirits.
You can learn from your enemy. We could have a conversation with it.
I mean, do you think we can just have a conversation with one of these things right here, right now, in the middle of this place?
I do not.
I think it's worth a shot, though. I mean, why are they coming here? I think we should figure out why they want to do this. Maybe they could do it somewhere
Hephe.
else.
Hephe.
What?
I thought the whole thing was anti-fire spirit, right?
I mean, I don't want the fire spirits to destroy life. If we can talk to them and have them not destroy life, I think that'd be the better way of doing it, don't you?
While I agree with you, here's my question for you. If that was a possibility, don't you think that Pool of Health would have given you a vision to try to do that at any point in time?
I mean, Pool of Health ain't doing so great right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one of the reasons I'm out here, is to get stronger.
Allow me to rephrase that for you. The one vision she did give you was a vision of this bottle or being able to speak to the fire spirits. Because I'm not trying to doubt. I'm trying to actually ask and legitimately say. Because if you truly feel like you can talk to these fire spirits, then I'm okay with that. But it kind of feels like your spirit has been pretty clear on the fire spirits need to be stopped.
There's an whole army, right? Then, even in the worst possible situation, and this one escapes and flees to the army, the one is not going to make the difference.
I look towards Hephe and I kind of just brace myself.
If there ever... Wait. Give me a quick second.
Is it so you can finish putting on your armor?
No, this is...
I mean, I think I would need at least a day to prepare for this, because I think I would need to be able to make sure we can speak the same language if we're going to be talking, and I can't do that right now.
I could probably talk its language.
Has there been any history of anyone having an actual deal or conversation with these beings?
Anyone proficient can make either an arcane or a history check.
I don't think Asri's good either.
I'm proficient in history.
What about religion? For my background.
I'll allow that.
Okay.
Baffle
And I'm not.
asked the question. Baffle knows.
Woo! That nice 3. Fire bad, water good.
Fire bad, water good, Hephe.
Porcelain, you not specifically fire spirits, but the whole bottle in a thing does kind of remind you of a spirit in a bottle or a djinn in a bottle.
Genies, make wish.
Who are said to fulfill wishes.
Question for mechanics of this world.
Yeah.
Does Pool of Health actually exist in a sense that I could cast Sending? It says that it needs to be a creature, so probably not, because it's not technically a creature then. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, is that from my understanding of beings trapped in bottles, is that sure, they may have answers, they may even have aids, but they don't usually end well, or there's some kind of big catch.
Like taking a gift from a demon lord.
Fluke, it's like, that's exactly what I was about to say.
I do recall, Hephe, that you were, you had some words with Asri about communing with demon lords. If this is not very different, then I ask that you consider it.
I mean, spirits aren't demons, right?
Well, they don't come from the same place, but they can have the same maliciousness.
And same power, as you've seen with Pool of Health, although in a positive manner.
I just believe that perhaps we should consider, if you want to take it along with you, learning about it before we go popping the cork.
I'm thinking like maybe I think perhaps we should have a council meeting with the Viscount and Vasia and all the elders here and whatnot. And maybe this isn't so much a reward as it is like an information piece against the war efforts that we're trying to stop. But I think this is a bigger deal than just like some reward. I think we can use this for some real good.
Well, precisely. If you'd like to get more minds in on it, definitely peer review and all that.
What do you think? What do you think, Viscount Anthony? What do you think?
Well, what you say does make sense to me. If that is a creature with information on it, we should be able to use that. And, well, as Decorm also said, it's likely only one soldier. Even if it gives us trouble, well, that would be a bigger problem.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Is there a difference between, and this is towards Hephe, is there a difference perhaps between a fire-style genie thing and the fire spirits in which you have to fight? Because what if this is a creature that's completely unrelated to them? Like, we may be broad-stroking this, but not every merfolk is known to be a triton, and not every turtle knows a merfolk, right? They may be water-related, but...
What would I roll?
Arcane.
Well, I know everything that a dumb horseman would know.
Well, you start thinking about it, and you kind of agree with what he says. What you understood from the visions you had is that the fire spirits that like attack are almost like mindless, kind of. They are almost like kind of newborn who only know how to fight, as it were. They are kind of creatures that don't understand the world where they appear in, and everything around them is dying, and that's the only thing they know, as it were. If it's one of those types of creatures in this bottle, then there's very likely not going to be a lot of conversation. If there is another type of creature in this bottle, it is very likely that it also doesn't like those spirits, because they kind of like for the same reason you don't, like they're creatures who just fight and nothing else.
Alright, so it's like one or two different possibilities. Either it's one of these things and don't matter because it's just going to try to kill everything that it sees just because it's nature, or it's someone that doesn't want that to happen because, you know, like the Viscount saying, that's a reasonable request not to have everything just be killed that you know. So it's either we unleash an enemy or we befriend an ally that might be able to help us. And if anything, a fire spirit's going to know about fire spirits, hopefully. I don't know. And also might be happy that we freed it, so maybe it'd be more willing to cooperate. I know I you know, if I was in a jail cell and somebody came along and said and freed me, I'd be mighty cooperative. I'd be like, what can I do to help you so that way I can get the hell out of here?
Then the last question I want to ask you before you make this decision, what do you think it did to get locked up?
I mean, I have literally nothing to go off of.
It's a very strong answer.
I just feel it would be, if a very powerful mage locked it away here, then that would be for good reason. But I'm going to trust your judgment on this one against probably not, I don't know. You're the one with the god mission, so...
You're a great leader. It's your call.
Maybe give the rest of the place a look through, hold it in your hands, and if you see literally nothing else that interests you, then it's either an ally or a creature we have to put down real fast.
I mean, I think either way, we should talk to Vasi about it and maybe uncork it tomorrow after I have a little bit of time to prep. But let's see what else is around.
Okay, so then we get to your second item.
Well, I mean, come on, that's a mighty item.
Yeah. Like once I saw it, like I thought, yeah, that's gonna stir up the pot a bit.
It's the genie of bottom.
It's a juicy, meaty piece of plot.
Oh my god.
With
I'm
the
hungry.
9, as you're looking around, you find a set of leather armor. It seems very well crafted, also magical. Nothing you can wear, but well, technically, because it's magic armor, it would, if you were to like try and put it on, it would form to you. But you recognize it as mariner's armor.
Oh, nice.
Can centaur swim?
Yes. Can you swim?
Yep.
All right, move along.
And as you're with the 7, was it right? Yeah.
Yes.
You're looking around, and you also find a. I'm gonna have to look real quick what this specifically is before I give a description. Oh, you find a lantern that is covered to, like, it. When you turn it on, it shows you the area around you, but it is very difficult to see from far away still. And if you try to turn it on, it will also cast see invisibility on you.
Ooh.
I mean, I think this is pretty cool. I can see things that aren't around us, and if finding those hacks taught us anything, it'd be nice to be able to see things that you can't see. But also, can't your Meowsers do that?
Maul. And his eyes will do the like cat eye thing when you flash a light on it, but without light flashing on it.
You mean his pupils dilate?
No. Have you ever taken a picture of an animal's eyes?
Ah, I
reflective.
see what you're talking about.
Glow.
The glow.
I think this is pretty cool because it lets me and other people do that too, and it's not something that I can just go poof. But if I had to choose between the bottle or this lantern thing, I'm gonna have to choose that bottle. That bottle was pretty interesting.
You know what? With what we know of the bottle, you can have both if you want to. Similar
Dibs.
to Decorum's helmet.
Okay, well then I have a see invisibility lantern.
And then Fluke.
Yep. And Fluke will actually say, that reminds me, Hephe, could you do me a minor favor throughout the next couple of days?
What's up?
Could you keep that remove curse spell at the ready? And if you happen to have not used those slots, when we lay down for a rest, could you start working those on those monocles we happen to occur, so we might could sell some of the extras?
I like the way you think.
Just toothy dragon boy grin.
So, what is Fluke looking for?
Well, first he's actually going to go up to Mr. Anthony Pierce and long shot, very long shot, but figured may as well ask. And he'll just kind of reach to his side and pull out his rapier. Anything that might look like it's a pair to this, because I'm very sure it is half of a set.
He looks. Oh yes, some time ago a fella came back from the forest with, but looks like a black version of that one.
Luke's
Did he
just gonna-
find the set?
Luke's just grinning, just like.
Yes, yeah.
And he'll actually lead you to the young black. Oh, the white. You had the black version. He shows you the
Yeah,
white.
the white
Sorry.
version. Yep.
And he shows you the young blade.
Glad I remembered.
I was wondering if you were going to ask for that.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Wait. I was hoping that's what the 4 charges did. Nice. Nice. They are a pair. They are a nice pair. Now, PM, I am going to ask a question.
Of course.
So I need attunement to both to use the charges, correct?
Yeah.
Now here's a question. If I was to hand the weapon to someone else, would they get the +4 or the +1 equivalent without the charges, without attunement?
They wouldn't be able to use the magic of the weapon, but they would get a +1 rapier as well.
That is exactly what I wanted to know. Well, I guess it's unnecessary for me to even
Porcelain.
roll, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, very that. So, Fluke's just going to be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. Thank you kindly, sir. I am
course.
going to... I know exactly what I'm naming it. Porcelain, I have a proposition for you.
What would that be, Sir Fluke?
Well, he says, showing off his new sword, this has magical charges, and I definitely want to use those, especially since I don't focus on concentration like someone of your magical persuasion might. But while using both of them would be nice, till you find something suitable, would you perhaps want to use it without the attunement property? Get a nice +1 sword?
Well, actually, I say as I take it, I have the ability to attune to any weapon,
Well,
really.
No,
Well,
no,
no,
he
no,
wants the attunement.
Oh, he wants the attunement. Okay, I misunderstood.
The attunement aspect gives me some mystical abilities, but I figured you might want a +1 sword because it has 2 slots, but the slots feed into each other. Very strange that way. In fact, if anyone wants to, I guess, toss it up for her too, so she can see how it works.
No, it's right here. Sorry, I realized as I was looking over.
So basically, he's offering you a +1 rapier until you get something better.
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely. She'll say, I'll gracefully take that off of your hands.
Now, do I need
will say-
to?
All the stuff.
You will
Well,
be-
Yeah, I was gonna say,
What were you
like,
gonna
how do I
say?
keep her from attuning? Do I have to take it back before we go to bed every night, or what are we doing on that?
Well, attunement is at least a bit of a how do you say it? A active thing you do. Like you have to kind of sit with it, kind of get a feel for the weapon. It takes a bit,
You got to attune to your Zombocto.
but if she just starts like attacking with it, it should be fine, as it were.
Gotta say, be
Um,
careful with that. Just, I might need to take it back if it starts getting the little ability back, and of course, I would prefer it back once you find something nice. But until then, magic sword, easier to hit, seems best.
Have you ever attuned to a blade before, Sir Fluke?
Gotta pull out the black one. Matching pair. It's like, yes.
Well, I will sheath it, and I will say, once we leave here, because I'm not going to interrupt anyone, obviously, but I will say once we leave here, I do need to go back to the regular armory on our way out and sell this chainmail so I'm not over carrying capacity anymore.
Also, you
Chainmail
can
or
call
plate
it-
mail?
The chainmail, the plate mail, I'm going to sell somewhere else because I got the plate mail here, and it feels kind of wonky to sell their shit back to them. Or at
That's
least
fair.
I don't
You're
want
not
I don't
wrong.
want the blacksmith here to not appreciate me for that.
Fair.
That's yeah.
You
So,
also-
with everyone having their weapon or item of choice, I suggest we go on break.
Break time. Bathroom
Break
time.
time. I don't have access to both of them, so that's my downside. And Baffle's downside is she can't summon, she can't resummon the sword if she's disarmed. That's her big
But she can summon
disadvantage.
hers.
Yeah, so she'll always have a sword. She just won't have good sword.
I've always got
Yeah.
a backup. Someone will be like, haha, I've disarmed you. And I'm like, guess again, bitch.
Ha! You thought?
Don't lose that. Though I don't know if Baffle wants to write it down. I already have a name for that sword as well. She can name it something else while she's using it, if she wants, or just use +1 rapier, whatever she likes.
Probably just a +1 rapier for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Porcelain's never been one for naming her shit.
Dim.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Lead us off.
So all of you are leaving the secret room. Again, it's opened. Not all of you make perception checks. See if you notice a thing.
Okay.
Small detail.
Woo!
Okay.
Very perceptive. Except for Battle.
And
So
Decorm.
everyone except for Decorm and Porcelain, you notice that, you do notice that it's the viscount who opens the thing, and that his brother, though, he's clearly aware of where it is and everything. He kind of like just awkwardly stands next to it and doesn't interact with the entire chamber, as it were, except for hiding it.
Interesting.
But other than that, I believe you wanted to find a safe space to open that bottle.
We were doing
I
that
wanted
tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I also
Yeah.
wanted to sell my chainmail real quick.
Okay.
That's what we wanted to do.
The chainmail. Let me look at the.
While you're looking that
Unless
up,
Vasya
I-
knows tongues.
I know Vasya and I both know comprehend language now. Thanks to her, I know what I should say. I would like to ask a favor of you, Hephe. And she's going to say this part in Hefe's head, saying, since we communed with that demon lord, I've been having horrific visions of nightmare things, and I was really hoping that your remove curse spell might be able to get rid of them for me. Boop. Wait, do you have another 3rd level spell slot right now?
I have one remaining now.
Oh, snap.
Curse and fix one object, and if the object is cursed magical. Hephe,
I looked
make
at porcelain.
a
What?
wisdom check.
I am making a wisdom check.
You good, Hephe?
It's your best stat.
Aw.
Oof.
As you boop her, you feel that your spell taking hold of something, and then suddenly it resists, and you're kind of like flicking back, and you know you were close, but the spell didn't have any effect.
Is it proficiency bonus close?
No. It
Okay.
also would have been without your proficiency bonus.
Oh, okay. Realizing that she is definitely cursed and that there's definitely something going on, I am going to pursue it and do my last remove curse.
Okay,
Try it again.
another wisdom check.
I just imagine
How
like
cold
the
health compels you.
I just imagine like
Oh
the
my
dawning
God!
realization on his face, and then like glaring.
With a 13, you get a bit close. This time you're focusing more, but with it, it's also slightly more violently. Your arm gets thrown back as you are resisted again.
Seeing his arm get thrown back, I say, "Oh my God, what just happened? Hephe, are you okay?"
All right. Whatever's got a hold of you is something decent. I can't do that no more today, but tomorrow we're gonna get that taken care of.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm gonna look at the
prioritize
rest of
that
you.
over the monocles.
I'm gonna look at the rest of you and I'm gonna say, y'all probably got the same thing going on. We're gonna have to hold out for a couple of days while I'll get my removing. Well, I remove all the curses from all y'all.
Well, looks like you're taking my advice anyway. Don't really start with me. I mean, my dreams are very vivid, but they haven't been horrifying. Even no
Wait.
more than usual.
You're getting dreams. You get to sleep during it. As I like smack at something that's not even there. Just...
Luke's just gonna shrug. It's just...
All right, now
wish
where's
I got
Vasya?
dreams.
As you come back, because all of this, it took like half an hour to an hour, we'll say about an hour. The both of them will be both Vasya and Eleni will be at the desk that you saw before, or the desk of the viscount where you were before.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out the bottle, and I'm gonna say, "What do you all know about this bottle here?"
There's
Give
genie
me
in it.
a quick second, as everyone except for Thargarek, the whole council is there. Let's see how much does Fascia know about this bottle. Fascia look at it and well, there seems to be some form of spirit inside of it. I can't really tell what type though, but
Thurgrat's over there.
I would advise though, it seems to be aware, at least vaguely, of what's happening around it. So I hope you didn't say anything too bad about it.
I haven't said anything bad about it, other than
I don't
that
think
it's either
anyone
gonna be
has.
our friend, or it's not gonna matter because it just wants to destroy everything. So you're all on the same page that we're against the fire spirits now.
Well, yes, we. Eleni probably won't respond as she is. She hadn't talked about that with anyone, but this is. Oh yes, I was always for, but it was just not my decision.
Well, it's been decided. Now this is a
And I
fire
will
spirit.
happily provide my services.
Okay, now this is a fire spirit. Good. We're all on the same page. Now this is a fire spirit. So either it's gonna be our friend, hopefully, or we're gonna have to do something about it. But I think we should uncork it, set it free, and find out and talk to it. Because maybe we can stop this war before it even needs to happen. I don't know.
Let's do that in the war room, preferably. That's mostly stone, right?
All right. Now, question: Do you have tongues or anything that can make us like understand each other? Because I think talking to it might be mighty difficult if we can't understand each other.
Let's see. What does she have? I do believe she has comprehend languages.
Yep.
Let's see real quick.
Comprehend languages makes you understand it, not make the other one
Yeah.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, tongues is what you need for that. Which
Which is a 3rd level spell, which I can prepare, but I need today to do that.
Yeah, let's have a
yeah,
look,
clerics
because it
can
would
get
be the
that,
type
yeah.
of spell she would have if it's on the wizard spell list. So she
It
does.
is.
So I'd say she
it
has
is. Yes.
It's just not ritual.
So this spell grants you and creature touch ability. I think I'd be able to cast something to at least make it understand everything we're saying, and hopefully also make us understand whatever it says.
All right, good. Then let's go to the war room.
Right now?
I mean, why not?
I thought you wanted to wait to get your spell slots back for the morning to do that.
I mean,
Just in
because
case it's a fight.
Well, I needed tongues, and now she's got tongues, so I don't need it.
Oh, that was
as
only
you
for
s-
tongues. I thought it was also to prepare against in case it was an enemy.
As you say that, Astray, Eleni puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Don't worry, if it's a fight, we'll handle it."
Okay. After looking through her spellbook yesterday, I'm no longer worried.
This is the other one. This is the one with the mace, but
Oh, this is Lainey? Even more so. I will yield to her authoritas as one of the Bastion representatives. It's like Cartman. Don't give Cartman authoritas.
Yeah. I mean, the only real problem is that I don't have spiritual guardians right now, but that's okay. I still have spiritual weapon, and let's be
So-
real. That should be enough.
as you move to the, or as you are arrive at the war room, is there any preparation you want to make before you open the bottle?
I'm in my plate armor.
Okay.
Asri would cast Comprehend Language on herself,
Okay.
and then I think she would put alarm on the door of the if no, that would take too long to get ritual cast both. Never mind.
Okay.
I mean, we have. Oh, gotcha.
Give me a quick second.
Giving you a quick second.
Continue what you're doing. But I might want to do a thing.
Unless we have
Wait,
time, then I will cast alarm on the door just to make sure if it does get past us and out or something, the entire area is alerted.
There's food now.
Fluke
I've
will
got it.
use one of his charges to cast Bless on the Ezraim porcelain.
And himself, I imagine. Someone is echoing.
Sorry, that's me. My fucking headset just became unplugged. Let me just.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll be just as we're uncorking it though, because it only lasts for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I imagine you wait
He's
for that
holding
exactly
action,
until the pop off, as it were.
Yeah.
Cherry, you done yet, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So you doing anything?
Is that Cherry or Decorm?
Not yet.
Okay. In that case, Hephe, as you pop open the bottle, a ridiculous amount of red smoke wells up from it, and it starts like forming this cloud above it, and slightly like in front of you, Hephe. And first two red hands start appearing from it, and kind of like as if it's pulling itself up on over a ledge. The torso of a completely red-skinned man appear, and right as you're thinking like that could just be any tiefling, suddenly like everywhere where you'd expect hair, as it were, starts burning, and like his normal facial hair is all fire, his arm hairs are fire, his armpits are fire, and
So he's Endeavor.
he looks at specifically at you, Hephe, as you are not the one who imprisoned me.
What language does he say that in?
Common.
Oh, common.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
This wasn't even needed.
Yeah, and then I'll say, no, I'm the one that freed you. Hello, my name's Hephe. How are you?
I'm not free yet.
Oh, okay. Well, then what's exactly holding you?
And he just looks at the, like, downwards towards the bottle. He says, I imagine you want something in return for my freedom.
I mean, I'm just kind of curious if you know anything about the fire spirits that come here every so often and like try to kill everyone.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Well, I'm not sure how it is from your perspective, but where I'm from, suddenly a bunch of people get sucked into a vortex, as it were. They lose their bodies and merge with the flames that are sucked with them. When they wake up, they're not themselves anymore. I was fortunate enough to keep my body and keep my mind. Until one of your type appeared, and he points at, I think it would be Decorm who would be closest.
Paladin.
The Dragonborn is what he's referring to, but...
Gold. The scalings.
I mean, that sounds mighty terrible to see all your friends just all of a sudden, you're just going about your business and all of a sudden you just get taken away and find yourself somewhere else and you're not even yourself. That's pretty terrible.
I know.
Do you know anything about it?
It happens.
It happened?
I mean, is there any way to stop it?
That's life.
Can I insight and see if this all seems legit or not?
Make an insight check.
Can Asri make any sort of knowledge check to know if she breaks the bottle that he'd be freed?
Sure. I think that would be an arcane check for Asri.
I mean, the story seems to be legit, but I don't know for sure,
Nope.
right? You're rolling insight, right? Yeah.
I rolled an 18, yeah.
I didn't see the 18.
Being slow. The arcane check just rolled for me.
Yeah.
I rolled
Still
a 10
waiting
on
on
the
my-
die. It's the 18 insight shows up on mine, does it not? Oh, I guess I'll roll it.
that's yours.
Connection to the server has been interrupted. Let's refresh.
Oh, watch
Okay,
the 18
but-
not have rolled for you.
Well, go with the 18, and you see that he is answering. He is truthful in what he's saying, but he's also simultaneously kind of trying to figure you out, as like he's the one who's trapped here, and you're, to him at least right now, the person with all the power, as it were.
And you're acting really weirdly nice, and I don't trust like that.
Like the last
You
conversation,
acting kind of sus,
the
dog.
last interaction you had with someone from this plane was someone entrapping him in a bottle, and now suddenly someone's all being nice about it, and that's a bit
Oh, that
suspicious.
sounds terrible.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm just curious if what would happen if I set you free? Would you just want to go back home? Would you want to try to stop this from happening to other people?
He thinks about it for a moment and he says, I would definitely try to figure it out, I think. You've lost a lot of people to those vortexes. Not even sure what they are, they just appeared. For millennia we actually thought they were attacks, but then we found out that you have just as much trouble from them as we have.
I mean, it's definitely not us.
May I ask who is we? You keep saying we. Does that mean you have a people that you could possibly see if they are still surviving and willing to help
Rally.
stop this?
He starts thinking about it and says, do you think you could... It is not a common phenomenon or a local one. If we knew where it was, we just wouldn't be there, as it were. But you have to imagine, sometimes randomly on your plane of existence people disappear. Would you be able to rally people from somewhere else to stop that?
Not inherently, but if you were to tell them that somebody is creating holes that is absorbing people, you might be able to rally them against that person. So I
Is that
suppose my
what's
question
happening
is...
then?
That is my question, I suppose, as I get a little more direct, is if we find a culprit responsible, would you be willing to help fight against it? Also, how do
Definitely.
we free you?
Well,
I want to smash the bottle, but I feel like that might do more harm than good.
you
I
can
want to smash the bottle as well.
you can try
well,
smashing the bottle, but I don't think that would... You would just hurt your wrist.
She looks up at that like, that's a strong bottle.
Need to fulfill a request.
He
so-
says it... Yeah, so as you say that, he turns to you and says, one of you knows stories.
Oh, well,
He's just
You
gonna
know
show
how
you were
weird
free?
those stories
Well-
are from our perspective.
Well, how about this? And I think Hefe's got to be the one who makes the actual request since he popped the bottle open. How about we request he be our guide, confidant, and ally in this venture? That way he's free, he helps us out, and after the venture's over, which he has vested interest in, he's good to go on his way.
And he,
I mean-
as Flux says this, he'll turn to Hephe and he'll say, "It is as the little one says. I have to fulfill 3 requests of you, though I am free to interpret them as I want. A request like that, where I get my vengeance, of course, I wouldn't make a problem of.
All right, and does that what Flute just said? Does that count as 1 request, or does that count as 3?
That depends on how you word it.
Well, let's see. Ally, confidant, and guide. That's 3, right? You just have to word it around those 3 things. Or break the curse around us. Why is my connection to server being interrupted so much?
That's what's going on with mine
I think
too.
something with the Roll20 because I was having it as well.
No.
All right, I kind of like that idea. I'm also just curious. Do you know anything about water spirits?
No. They're on the
do you know
opposite
anything
side
about?
of the cosmos for me.
Oh, okay. I mean, do you know anything about like if what made a fire spirit stronger? Would that make a water spirit stronger, or would that make a water spirit weaker? Like my spirit, she's kind of weak right now, and I'm trying to figure out how to make her stronger. I was just curious if you knew anything about that. 'Cause you're a spirit, she's a spirit.
He, she, me, spirit.
This sounds like an interesting request. How did your spirit get weaker? What happened to it?
I mean, I don't know very much. She doesn't want to tell me too much about it. But I think
She
it's all.
won't or she can't?
Hephe stops. Huh.
I don't
is
know.
buffering.
Does it make a difference?
Of course. If it is something that she won't tell you, then she might have done something to deserve it, as it were. Maybe she did something and she's paying the price now. If she can't, then something is, as you mortals say it, poisoning her.
Yeah, I think it's that one.
Sounds
Gave her
just
the-
like what we've
We
had
gave her
described.
The potion of longevity before, and it seemed to have helped.
I think I know the 3 requests then.
Of course.
I think this is what I want to request. I'm not actually requesting it quite yet, so I'm going to look at the group and I'm going to say I think I want to request that the first thing be that he helps us figure out what's causing all these holes in space that are causing all this transportation madness. 2, to stop it, and 3, to figure out some way to heal Pool of Health.
Well, can I ask a way that you curtail one that a smidge that way he get? Does he go back into the bottle after that? Is my question, because I don't want him to have to go suck back into the bottle. Like 3 tasks complete, and now all of a sudden he's back in the bottle until somebody else opens him up, like the old stories.
What happens after you do the task? Are you back in the bottle? Or are you like good to go?
It depends on...
Well,
Once you've
honestly,
made the first request, you can, on your own leisure, recork the bottle and I'll disappear again. Then
so would we
until
keep
the second
bottle
request.
open?
Kind of.
So what happens if I make all 3 requests at the same time and I just leave the bottle open?
I will disappear and the bottle will be a regular bottle.
And you won't be able to help us?
Well,
That depends. I have to fulfill the request.
Oh, okay, so you gotta fulfill the request and then you'll disappear.
Yes.
What happens if you don't want to disappear and you want to just keep helping us? Do you automatically disappear? Or can you stay around and be a friend?
I'm not sure. He seems
I think
he seems like genuine in that statement of like, I don't know what happens in that scenario.
I look at the group and I'm like, all right, so what you want? What fancy way you want to put this request to make it reasonable on everybody? I kind of trust the guy. He seems all right. He seems like a victim. I don't want to hold him here. You know what? I'm just gonna say it the way that it is. 1, I want you to help us figure out what's causing all these holes and vortexes sucking everybody up in the fire plane and sending them here.
He'll raise one hand and his fingers, he'll snap it. Is technically done. You're lucky I have my own invest in it.
Okay. What exactly did you do?
he already gave us information at the beginning, Hephe.
I gave you information, so technically I've helped you. I will stay and help you more because I have an interest in solving this.
All right. So what's number 2, Hephe?
Okay, I want you to help us stop what's causing it.
There's that vested interest.
He snaps his fingers and says, of course. Same thing, really.
All right. And the last one is, I want you to help me restore all of Pool Hell's powers.
Of course. Also technically done. I could be free anytime now.
And you're still here.
He
So
starts,
I guess,
like,
I
looking
guess we
around.
figured out that you don't just disappear.
And the smoke starts like fading from the bottle as if like first it was ever like growing smoke, as it were. But now it suddenly starts ending, as you realize the bottle's magic starts disappearing, and slowly his from the same smoke as before, similar to how he crawled out of it. Now feet start appearing, also on fire, and now he's kind of just standing on the table before, and he says, I don't know how long I have in this plane. Not infinite, it seems.
I'm gonna grab the bottle, look at Decorum with his new axe, and say, "Bats are up."
Wait. Maybe we can trap one of those angry ones in there.
Isn't the magic fading?
Is it the
There's no-
bottle
the-
that's inherently magic?
At this point, it's a regular bottle.
Ah.
Batter up, and I throw it towards Decorum.
Fire dude's got clothes on, right?
Nah, he naked. You seen some fiery peen.
I mean,
That's one
he
fiery
is
book.
standing up on a table.
I'd say, like, as
Cinnamon
the
Tic
smoke
Tac.
starts disappearing, also, like, clothes start appearing on his body. There aren't a lot of clothes. Like, you're seeing a lot of skin still, but,
I'm still sexy.
like, you
Luke
need to
will
see these
actually
muscles, but I understand that mortals don't want to see everything.
Luke will take the initiative. He will hop up on the table, just extend his claw out, just like the fluke of House Pierce. He'll both be smiling up at the gin for the introductions and giving kind of a sidelong smirk to Anthony.
He will give you a nod and says, "Nice to meet you, House Pierce."
Oh, that's fun. But do you want to give names, or what should we call you? It doesn't. If the real name has some kind of binding quality, you can make something up.
Well, and he looks at the, I imagine, a smashed bottle.
Yeah.
As
I-
Means
the
that
last
Decorm can roll
person
for
I
it if he
told my
wants.
name was that.
So again, you can make I've heard stories. I assume that could be the issue. So make something up.
So let's keep it at
Ooh,
Fairness.
make it James.
Terrence?
Oh,
fairness.
Furnace.
How
I
about
think.
James?
For
Fairness.
You got a
Furnace.
nice
He's a
jacket if
furnace.
you're doing
Furnace.
game.
Very good
Does any
fun.
of you speak Primordial?
Yes.
I'm right now.
That's what I was
copying
gonna.
language.
I was gonna speak Primordial before he spoke Common, and I was just.
Yeah.
So I forgot that I could speak Primordial when we started doing the tongues nonsense.
Wow. You
Then, in that case, you know that it literally just means fire in Primordial.
I love it.
Then I'm gonna respond and say Centaur in Primordial.
He will nod at that. Do names have power here? I can't remember.
I mean, they can.
To a
but we
degree.
also need. They can. We also need
Forget
to know
them.
what to call you, though.
I mean, there is a legal standpoint.
I mean, my name's Hephe. I think people should know that.
That's also your title, though.
Right.
I mean, if you ask me if it has power, then I guess technically yes. My name has power because it's also a title.
He's the leader of his clan, so
I mean, not right now. I'm not the leader, but give it another like 9.5 years, then I'll be the guy in charge.
Hephe, you're rallying people to lead against the fire spirits. I'm pretty sure you're in charge. You're just the ambassador at the moment.
I mean, ambassador is not the presidente.
Your leanings.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
Fairness will look at all of you and is, since I technically free, I guess. I think I'll go to the mountain where I appeared. See if I can see anything there. I'll contact you if I
Fantastic.
find anything.
Thank you.
Bye, bitch.
Have fun. Try
He
not
does
to
not
burn
know what bitch
anyone
means, so
down.
he'll just say bye and he'll kind of like he'll walk,
Wait.
but
Oh,
sure.
wait.
How will we contact you?
Pretty
I
sure
will
he
contact you.
contacts us. Plus, you have sending.
Shush. I'm looking for sending stones, but Hefe's not smart enough for that, so I'm giving it a leading question.
He'll say, I have seen you, I can contact you.
Alright, bye.
Just a
Bye.
What was you going to say, Decorm?
piece of advice on this plane. Bitch is a very polite way of saying bye.
That is not true.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Alright. I'll probably won't talk to that many people. And you see as he walks out of the door, kind of simultaneously, his form changes to that of a kind of like relatively small looking and slim looking dragonborn in mage's robes.
Awesome.
As you see him take the form of his capturer.
Oh.
I liked y'all better when you were drunk.
I liked y'all better when you were.
I liked y'all better when you're acting more knightly and not lying to the freshly freed prisoner that's helping us.
You see the Viscount looking. That went so much better than I expected. Like
I won't
in every
lie.
way.
Same.
Honestly, I do admittedly like at least two of those were basically the same wish. Hopefully, he'll find us, not dicks by trying to exploit him, and we might get a good reward out of this by the time we're all said and done. Because we
I
could
think
have
our
literally
reward is-
asked for we could have asked for a mountain of gold.
I love
We might
it.
have-
You had literally 3 wishes to you, and you
Two of
asked
them
him
were the
for
same.
only things that he had already done technically.
I wanted him to stick around and help if he wanted to,
that's
and not be forced. I wanted to free him. He just said he was going about his business, and all of his friends got sucked away into a terrible tragedy. And then he saw all these people, and the first person he found, he told him his name, and all of a sudden he's in a bottle. I mean, that's just downright terrible. If that happened to me or any of y'all guys, I would hope somebody would try to help me. That's all I'm saying.
You're too good
No,
for
I
this job,
get you.
Hephe.
I'm just saying that it's hilarious you were the way you were wishing, because those first two were basically the same wish, and you could have literally wished for your the first one, and then the third one as a second, and then your third wish be, and I wish you had freedom.
I mean, that would have been a good idea too, but nobody said it.
I mean, honestly, if I got
Accurate.
trapped in a bottle and I had power, if the last wish was for a mountain of gold, if I was going to free anyway, I'd give it to them. I might, if I was feeling I could ass, I might try and crush them with it, but I wouldn't make it a sure thing.
Well,
If they survive, they survive, and then they can have gold.
They have gold.
They
Well,
die,
Or they're-
well, they were unlucky.
Or they get teleported to a dragon.
Well, think about it this way.
That would be funny. He points at us, we're just like, oh, that would be good.
What were you saying, Porcelain?
First off, stop using my name around these people.
That was in your head then?
Oh, yeah, got the outs.
But what I was gonna say is, well, think of it this way, Hephe. I don't feel that you failed in any way naming your wishes the way you did, because it gives him the choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just hope he's grateful. If he's not, it's not like I'm going to like there's anything we can do. But as far as not beating greedy assholes, we did a really good job on that.
Well, all right. Is there anything else that we're doing at the moment? If not,
Going to Roubel, I guess, and then hopefully figuring out our next step and meeting up with our new fern friend.
Yeah,
well, here's my here. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was curious if there's any way you can get me back to the Lost Swamp. I'm pretty sure Pull Help's calling me back, and she wants to have a conversation of something, but I need to be there with her. Is there any way that you can get us there faster? We were thinking Roubel would get us there.
Vasya will say, I personally can't. If you meet up with the one you were going originally, Orthan, he'll probably be able to do that. He's not one, but he is also friends with the family, so I can't imagine him making a big deal out of it.
New friend that we haven't met yet. Got it.
I'm gonna look at the Viscount specifically, remembering how he has secret chambers, but also said that Vasya is not part of the know. I'm gonna look at the Viscount and say, is that true? Is that the only way of doing it? Is there any other way? Is that the best way of going about it?
As of my knowledge, yes.
All right. Thank you.
My face so got such a bad poker face.
So,
Alright.
is there anything you still want to do before you leave?
I have two questions. Well, one question actually in a statement. One question is, Hephe had mentioned about staying until he got the curses removed on us. I didn't know if that was still his plan, and it was just something that player slipped.
We can move along. It's something that we've been traveling for a couple
Just
days
making
with
sure.
it being cursed.
Making sure.
Also, I know everybody else wants to get the fuck out of town, so
Yeah. Second is I would like to give the amulet of protection against detection to Porcelain as we leave, and tell her, I know you're worried about people finding you. This can help you against that. At the very least, against them trying to use magic to find you.
Well, wouldn't you want it? I mean, one's looking for you, wants you dead.
No one actively knows about that, technically. So it's not until someone finds out I'm alive. Does that make sense? That makes sense.
No,
She's doing a very good job of keeping her enemies close.
Yes.
Honestly, we need like 3 of these, if we're being honest.
You're correct, but
Luke's not
she
here for this
stops,
conversation.
Looks like
actually, yeah. She will stop having the Fluke voice in her head for a split second and stop like, ooh, Fluke might, like, not out loud, but thinking like, Fluke might have also been a good idea. Now I realize we've been attacked by 2 different sets of cultists. Oh well, giving it to the best friend.
Well, I'm afraid I don't have much jewelry to give back this time.
It's all good. Just make sure you actually have an attunement slot for that thing.
And I actually dig something out of my bag, and I said, I do still have this. And I pull out the little tiny rock bracelet.
Asri has hers in her gi pocket. I don't know where I put that prop. Oh god.
Oh, the silver bracelet?
Yeah. Well, no, mine was, yeah, I had a little prop for it, but like I turned mine into a bit of a bracelet after the attack. I don't know where it is. What? Well, I'll show it off next time.
We'll say that you do it in roleplay.
Yes.
And I think a good thing to knock out, I'd also like a quick little scene with Porcelain. Like that
Sure,
he's been
of
meaning
course.
to bring up to her.
You'll probably catch me as I'm getting the horses for everybody.
Like, hey, I was a little embarrassed to ask this before, but now that I'm lending you swords. Speaking of which, I may have to ask you to trade those out. They each have charges and abilities, so just keep that in mind. If I ask to switch them out, I'll give you another one in return. But when we're at a place where we could purchase one, would you be willing to use one more suited for myself, a disguise kit on me when we need it?
Oh, certainly. As I look over your hairless head and scales and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, we're going to buy one specifically for a Dragonborn, so you know. I mean, because I don't think they sell ones for kobolds, but it's probably mostly going to be a lot of scale paint, I'm going to assume. But besides the fact that I have cultists looking for a purple kobold, don't know if changing the scale color is going to help. But I've gotten from Azray and some of the other people we might have to do less than legal things, and he's going to lean and whisper, I'm totally up for that. But now I'm kind of gaining a reputation. I'm a knight, and I'm very noticeable, so, you know, just being a green kobold robbing something or doing something illegal would probably be, you know, for when we need it.
You see my eyebrows go up just a bit when you say we're going to be doing something illegal. I was like, are we? What we? As I look around and make sure no one's listening, what are we doing?
Don't know
No,
yet,
I
but we're
remember-
gonna do it.
I remember Ezra mentioning to Teak a while back, just like stirring up some shit for some reason or another, screwing with guards. I don't know, but Mostly that I'm up for anything like that, but being purple and a knight would probably be unhelpful to that.
Yes, I should certainly say so.
I mean, you guys have that advantage, you fleshy general humanoids. You get a nice cloak, and they have to really get a good look at you to really identify you, but I have these long ears, puppet scales, the snout. I need a little help, if I'm being honest.
Sure, I could certainly show you how to recolor.
That's mostly the plan, but yeah, I think we're at least still. No, next time we're someplace where we can buy one. I'd appreciate the assist.
Certainly.
Very good at it.
And I give him the lead for Toadstool.
The lead for Toadstool.
The pony.
Ah. He'll grab
Any
it
other-
like, oh.
We're ready to go
It's like, I feel like I should be mildly insulted, but I mean, what would I do with a full-size horse? I mean, really.
You can't fucking reach the stirrups. What are you talking about? Why would you be offended? It's like that whole thing about like how like women's basketballs are smaller than men's, and people are like, "Why can you be offended about this?" It's like, no, it's just to fit the hands.
I just wish they had. Couldn't they miniature horses? Why do they have to call them ponies? I mean, goodness sake.
That's what miniature horses are.
As they pop again, they're like, "You be quiet, you."
You guys just have a telepathic link.
I mean,
So
if I'm within 30 feet.
that's true.
I just mean like at all times. Ugh.
So everyone who uses one mounts a horse.
Yep, I gave Decorm grape because he asked specifically for that one,
I will
Fair.
mount Hephe.
and I'll
And
take
who-
salt.
Toadstool.
Wait, you're
honestly
you're
pretty
separating
close.
salt and pepper? We disagree. No, we are not separating salt and pepper.
They are a hip hop master duo.
They must remain together. Sorry, Grape.
But he did request grape directly. Hmm.
And you're not there to argue Wednesday handing out the horses.
If someone
Neither
does
am I.
bring it up though when I bring the horses, however, I'm going to legitimately, honestly, and earnestly ask, do you really believe that they get upset about being apart from each other?
I mean, I want an insight.
Inside the horse.
I want an
Okay,
insight.
animal
with
handling
horse.
check.
Asri will look at you and say, no, but I think that they are a clip-clop master duo.
I don't know why it rolled 2. I shouldn't have rolled both. But
23.
Still 23. The horse seems fine. Like, it's just ready to
Go.
ready to go. It seems kind of happy that it gets out of the
The stable.
out of the stables for a moment.
all right, I was mistaken. Salt gives no shits about pepper.
And
I
there's
will
reasons.
look, like I said, it's just a joke. Clip-clop masterpiece. Like, you know, I'm just being funny.
Maybe they broke up, just like some bards do.
I just thought that their blood ties would run a little bit thicker, but I guess I was wrong. I guess that's what separates horses from horsemen.
Well, I mean,
I
there's a
don't
reason
think-
Salt gets first billing.
Porson's going to mount and start clopping out.
I don't think blood ties really has anything to do with it. I just think that Salt and Pepper were a great bard duo, and the fact that we had horses named after them would have been cool, but that's because I like music.
Okay. And
Dum, 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 dum,
With
dum,
that-
dum.
you leave and without Teak, so I'm gonna move her to the
Oh,
allies.
yes, of course. We all say our goodbyes to Teak.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We have to have everyone has our goodbye moment with Teak.
I
Ah.
imagined to not do the actual playing of that without Teak here, so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
for
Fluke's gonna-
people watching, Quinn is taking a break from the campaign for a bit, so Teak is gonna stay behind until Quinn feels up to it again.
But we tell her how much we're going to miss her, and
Yes.
I promise her that the next time we go somewhere together, I'm still definitely going to disguise her as a man, like she asked.
And Fluke's
would
going to
like
remind
that.
her to make a corrosive type of solution so Mr. Box has delicious things as it desires. I'm assuming we're also leaving Mr. Box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Box is very
he's-
much imprinted on Teak.
Oh no,
Also-
Mr. Box.
Also, and
Yeah.
to also
He
whisper
doesn't have
beckingly,
a
just like,
thing yet,
make
but
me some tinted goggles, woman. The sun
the
hurts.
blue figure. Oh wait, yeah, the blue figure thing is fairness, but he doesn't have a token yet. I have to find something for him.
Fair.
As you're traveling, I'd like all of you to make perception checks.
Woohoo.
You're going a lot faster this time than you did when you were traveling with the Viscount.
I want to see
True.
the allies.
Womp. You guys made me think about a lot of things.
Right now I'm thinking of clopping coconuts.
Wait, was that supposed to be with advantage? Is everyone rolling with advantage right now?
No, mine. I
I
don't
was
know why
even rolling
mine
with
is.
disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't know why.
My toggle's on normal,
So-
but it's still doing it.
It was still the right one to roll, but
See if it does it to me too. It doesn't.
Okay, so it's just roll 20 being weird. So 7, 24, 24, 15, 23. Okay, so all of you definitely notice it because it's very large and makes a lot of noise. But Porcelain, for a moment, as you hear and see it, you're kind of like in a moment of shock, like, oh shit, how did it suddenly get so close? As the rest of you see it much earlier and hear it much earlier, as the area is quite hilly, and at one point as you get on top of one of the hills, to you on the left side of you, you see an army marching of, and I'll say, Esray, Hephe, and Fluke. You've consider this to be about 5,000 people.
Are there any sigils or anything that to know like what nation this army is from?
yeah, that.
Yeah, is this an
It
invasion
is-
or?
Okay, so
No
I'm
way is this
gonna
an
take you to the
invasion.
map real quick.
Yeah, we're deep in our territory here.
Yeah,
And that's
if,
why.
I'll say, you are around the K of Kingdom in Lavasti.
Okay.
An enemy nation over here would be then the kingdom has almost fallen as we're at that point.
That's why my brain was like, did somebody pierce through Edel and stir real quick? Like, what's going on here? Like, is this just a piercing point? That, like,
But it would definitely be banners that Esray recognizes, as they are the banners of the Marquis.
Is this the
Oh.
inspection?
As you are looking at it, you notice that they are kind of divided into 4 groups, and in the middle of that group there is there's still like a convoy of about 100 soldiers, but in the middle of that there is also a carriage riding with the banner of both a general, one of the Bastion, and one of the Marquis on it.
Creope's in that chariot or that cart.
And I'm also going to say since everyone who rolled above a 20, you'll also notice that as the main army, as it were, is split into 4, with each of the groups of soldiers, you notice that there are 4 prominent figures. There are more, but 4 prominent figures that you notice something specific about. You notice on one of them, the first one you notice is seems to be a very tall man. He's completely cloaked, and you can't see what race he is, but from where you're standing, you'd figure he's about 8 feet tall. And you notice on his robes there are 3 outlines of stars knitted. On the other side of him, you notice a female figure, similarly extremely tall, even taller as the 8-foot guy. Also completely robed and everything, and at her you see 2 outlines of stars. And then farthest away from you, you notice a much smaller figure. For this one, it is too far away to notice any stars. But then still a little bit close to you, you do notice one who seems about humanoid size, who has 3 golden stars, like filled in golden stars on their embroidery.
Oh boy.
And I will also say, for Hephe, this might be an important thing, or interesting thing at least, is when your clans are talking about war, like your clan itself is very good at like keeping peace between different groups and not getting into fights. But when clans go to war, even like the biggest fights are among like 300 soldiers on one side. So this is definitely the largest group of warriors, as it were, that you've ever seen.
Okay. That's a bit intimidating.
We're just gonna ride up to it, just like. So, do we think they're here for the inspection? Because that's rather large.
I think I understand why everyone was panicking about this inspection. I point to where, like, I think that one with the marquee and everything is on it. The banner's like, that's where I believe the people who are going to be doing the inspecting are right now. And if they're bringing this level of force with them, there's more than just an inspection happening.
As you say that, make another perception check.
Everyone or just Asri?
Just Ezra for now. What are you going to say, Bethel?
I was going to say, Porcelain will say to Hephe, I know you're a bit drained on spells. Is there any way to send a message to them and let them know what's coming their way?
I used the last of those powers to try to remove that darn curse.
Ezra, as you're looking it over, even though the largest group are normal soldiers, you realize there's a lot of mages in this group. Like many more than you'd well, there's just in general much more than you would expect for an inspection, but they have an abnormal amount of mages with them for a army this size.
Would Asri know of anything within the Sleeping Woods that they would be magic-wise wanting to retrieve, or does she think this might be in response to something else?
Make an intelligence check.
And go gadget average. I knew I was gonna get average, but damn.
Very average. With 11, you're not sure there's nothing that you can come up with that there wouldn't be an easier way to get than to march up an entire army.
Yeah, Asri's lost. She looks to Decorm, then asks Decorm, do you have any idea why they would be moving with such force?
Sorry. What? No.
I think we need to hurry back and let them know what's going on.
Can I give it a try? And Porcelain will say, I don't know if we're going to outrun them.
I mean, we're already ahead of them, and we're on horses.
I would allow for both Decorm and Porcelain to make an insight check.
Insight.
Not to mention,
The
I'm
two
not
of
sure.
you definitely know how. I'd also say that I imagine also for Fluke and Ezra, this would also be like the first time they see an army this big.
Looks just like, I don't know if I want to be anywhere near that. They might be conscripting people and I don't rather.
You're a knight of the
rather-
snoozing watch.
I know. But I don't
The
want
bash-
to be conscripted.
Oh no.
It's still natural 1, but...
Yeah, but it's a natural -1. Damn.
Oh, a
I know
natural
it's not
negative,
natural.
but a store-bought one. With the 11, as you're looking it over, they seem rather cheerful. They kind of remind you of a dog, like the army as a whole, I should say. They kind of remind you of a dog that gets to go outside after it's been raining the whole day. And for Decorm, you just look at it and you kind of just can start feeling that sense of force of this entire army, like marching vaguely in your direction.
Don't tell me what to do.
Can we sit down? Maybe hide in a bush?
Gonna stare a grow to a bush, just like.
So the question is, do we want to give the snoozing watch a warning, or just leave them to their own devices?
I mean, how much of a warning can they give? You saw the state of things. We'll get there, and then they'll follow up. What?
I mean, they might be able to run.
An hour, 2 hours later?
Do you think this is a threat of takeover?
No, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, why else would they show up with so many people? I mean,
Well,
I've never seen anything of that scale before. You're telling me that's just walking by? Nah.
Well,
They're doing something.
You're right, but they are also a lot of mages, disproportionate to the amount of soldiers that are there. They could be taking it there to fortify the magic defenses that we left Teak to help with.
Well, it's also more so a fact that, judging by the morale, this doesn't seem very much to be a battlement, so much as it may frankly be showing his big stick.
This could literally just be that, showing the big stick, as well as there's multiple different representatives there. This looks to be a protective regime of sorts around these important people that are being escorted towards the snoozing watch as well. So
That's
a mix
what I was-
of... Go ahead.
That's what I was thinking. They might be basically on a tour of inspections. I mean, do we hear anything about that? Because important people do the inspecting, but those important people can't be unguarded from God knows what.
I mean, how many people does it take to guard one person?
It's not just one person.
I mean, yeah, but what you're telling me is how many people are there that need that many people protecting them? You're telling me there's like 100
4 or 5. 4 or 5, probably.
Shut the door.
Well, I mean, it's
It's-
about 5,000, so I'd probably guess about 5 people, probably.
It's a bit difficult to explain, Hephe. They're not there specifically for protection. If anything, it's to, well, how do you explain this? Between all the empires, there isn't exactly war going on, but tensions are high, and a lot of noblemen like to bring about their knights and their armies trotting around so that if we ever do begin a skirmish, which they're quite hungry for, people are already used to it.
I'm just shaking my head.
Listen, Hephe, I don't disagree with you. I'm also worried about the snoozing watch. But that's also because I do feel I just don't trust a fair chunk of the militarized people here. So,
Let's just be glad Anthony is awake. Because before, this inspection would have happened while he was still in a state of magical connectivity.
Well,
He's got to fumble his words because I can't come over it.
I do have one solution so that we can continue carrying on, and perhaps she'll catch up later. And I take Elvira out from wherever I have her tucked because she likes to cling to me, and I say we can send a message with her, and she can get there before they can.
Note of some kind?
I like the
mean,
idea of letting
sounds
them
good.
know. Yeah, I like it.
All right. So I'll dismount and I'll get out a small slip of parchment and I'll scribble down basically a good gist of what's coming their way. And I tie it to her and I send Elvira off.
Okay.
yeah, okay. How far away is this army exactly from us? Just so I have a good idea.
Around, I'd say 1,500 feet.
Okay. I just kind of look at it, nod my head, and start moving towards the direction of Roubel once she's done giving Elvira the paper and everything.
She'll come back and find us after we've made camp.
Yeah.
Maybe with a reply. We'll see.
Does it look like they'll get there before nightfall?
This would be quite a bit in your travels. So you figure the army would still have to set up camp at least once before arriving.
Oh,
Okay,
I didn't
nice.
realize we were that far. I thought we were much closer.
Yeah, it's because we skipped over with
Travels.
Yeah, that's
job.
fair. That's fair.
Well,
There's
hey,
a little bit of a
it'll
blue.
take longer
But
for
actually, also
Elvira
saying
to get
that
back,
you, since you have a bit of a moment to look at the army, I'd say that both Decorm and Beth will also realize that they seem to have enough supplies with them to last a good while. Like it seems like they're planning to stay somewhere for like a month or maybe more.
That honestly, for Fluke, is just like, see, they might be inspecting multiple places.
Or they could be shacking up at the watch for some reason. I don't know. From my knowledge, would I say that the snoozing watch is capable of housing and tending to that many troops?
From what you've seen, they definitely can house much more than they're currently doing, but not this much.
May not be staying there, I say. But we may get news of what happens, we may not, I say, as we continue on. Just best not to stay here.
All right. And then we travel.
Okay, I'm gonna
Pretty
send
close.
one message real quick.
Travel montage. Ba-na-na-na-na-na.
Blulululululu.
So, unless there's something you still want to do on the road, or if there's something you want to do in the what's it called? In Harold's Haven, you will skip to Roubel.
Okay, so the only thing, since this takes multiple days, I would like to ask is if we can see if Hephe can do that curse removey thing across those days.
Let's see, because you have. I'll say that if you try it every day, I'm not gonna make you roll like 15 checks for it. That's nonsense. So eventually, Hephe, you get everyone.
Hooray!
Huzzah! No more hallucinations of dead people.
Oh, you couldn't do poor Teak before you left.
Oh god!
Oh.
But yeah, so you all have the flaw that was affecting you removed.
Oh,
Yeah!
Okay.
That's definitely something I did not think about.
Me neither. The only other thing is in Harold's Haven, if we have a moment to stop, I would like to try to see if I can get a scroll of identify, since we now no longer have a person who has it in our party.
That's
I
fair.
don't know much about this area, so I think I'll. Who can I trust to ask? I'll ask Fluke if he thinks that I do better selling the plate armor here at Harold's Haven, or wait till Roubel.
What would I know about that, DM? Because that sounds like something Fluke would know.
Say, yeah, you'd know if you want to sell it quickly, Roubel's gonna be your best bet. If you want to sell it expensively, Harold's Haven's gonna be your best bet.
You can relay that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd want to get as much as I can for it. Like, our good friend Decorum. Live by his rules. So I'll try and sell it here. Decorum.
Yeah.
You're very good at negotiating. Would you like to help me sell this?
Here.
Fluke's gonna be like, Hey, you asked for my help.
Oh, you have your specialty, and he has his specialty.
My
You-
persuasion is +9.
If you want to help, I'll take your help. Decorum doesn't seem to want to help.
I think Decorm's just having a bad day, so to speak.
All right.
Yeah, you look at him, you see that the black veins expanded.
Oh, I don't know what that is, so I'm probably gonna say, are you all right?
Fine enough. Hopefully. Would it be possible to sell it in Roubel?
Sure, we can sell it in Roubel.
That
Fluke and
yeah,
Porcelain staring awkwardly.
that would be great.
Sure, man. Looks like mostly just like muttering out to Porcelain. Maybe we should
Hold on, what was that last
cure
bit?
his disease. Luke's just whispering to Porcelain. Maybe we should have asked that Jinn about curing diseases.
What's going on with him? What is that?
I mean, he's mentioned it a bit, but if I'm remembering correctly, and again, someone correct me if Fluke didn't hear this. I think this was mentioned to the group.
I think for
course
Decorm, everything that you didn't hear was in private chats.
Yeah, so just like I believe he was poisoned, and it left him with a bit of a lasting ailment.
Because everyone in this world's got enemies.
I mean, I didn't know, man. I thought I had some people that I just pissed off a little bit, and now I have cultists after me, so gives a shrug.
Oh,
But
let's
to answer
carry
your
on.
question, yes.
The morning after we saw the troops walk by, I would have sent a sending message to the viscount.
Oh,
Okay. Can you send me what you said?
Yes.
As it will, I think at this point, it's traveling slightly fast, so it will take still a day for your familiar to return. Assuming you don't wait for it and keep traveling.
no. I trust that she'll come back.
Yep.
And if not, I'll just summon her, because I'll assume she's poofed. Actually, can you this is my first time having a familiar. Can you tell when they get poofed if they're not in your view?
I think it's only when they're in the 100 feet that you can tell if they're poofed.
Now, one thing you can do is just to summon it at any time and resummon it, but that, of course, you want to be sure that if you're delivering a message, it actually got there. If it's still on the way and you mistime that, then whoops, your message isn't getting there. So that's the only downside about
Well,
that.
in this message specifically, like the message will just fall on the ground where it won't poof with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they did send a reply, you need to wait.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't planning on summoning her anyway. I would just say, like, I'd give it a bit, and if it took, like, more days, then I'd expect her to catch up. I'm like, oh, okay, something happened.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to try and poof and depoof her before spending the 10 gold to resummon her. And if it doesn't work, well, then you know.
Hope you got a message about. Maybe scared. Okay. Let me type out because I probably am gonna go well over the words with what I want to say. I was correct. And it's
Whoa.
actually the perfect place where it catches off. That's the message you received back, Ralgo.
Oh dear God.
As the Viscount does not really know how magic works, so he just gives his response the way he would give a response.
Oh, the poor dumb idiot.
I love the Viscount.
Am I missing something? Did he send that somewhere?
Sending
In
directly
DM.
to Roglo.
Oh, if they haven't given, or if we haven't given.
If they haven't given.
Okay.
Or you could also read as if we haven't gotten.
Okay. I'll send another message.
Anthony, you're wasting our level 3 spell slots. Why?
We should do that. So, either on the road or in Herald's Haven, is there anything you want to do more except for the selling of... So I believe you didn't want to do that in the end, right?
Yeah, I said I'd do it in Roubel.
I'm gonna assume Decorm has his reasons, and since he's not feeling well, we got that. When you feel pity for someone when they're sick, it's like, yeah, we'll help you out, buddy. We'll do what you say.
Jasper,
Yes.
you once asked me a question about some nobles, or in Roubel, did you?
I'm trying to recall because I think I did.
I think you once said just like something like, "Oh, he knows nobles," or I wasn't unclear if that was in character or out of character.
I think I did, and like as soon as he said it, like I'm like I did, but I don't remember a goddamn word that was said because I think you were writing to someone in Roubel, and I made a mention of it, but I for the life of me right now don't remember what I said, so I'll just say I believe I did, but I'll be honest, I'm quite foggy after the night of drinking.
Fair. Do you know anybody of significance in Roubel?
I hate him so much. I'm sorry.
He wasted half of his words on... Oh, it sounded like it got cut off.
Well, do I know anyone personally? Because I know I've been through there.
I'll check real quick what I sent you earlier.
Because I think there was something. I could have swore there was something. Hold on. Hold on.
You know at least one noble personally, but that's not in... Oh no, wait, you don't know him personally, actually.
Oh, that's right. That was taken. That was edited. Never mind. Never mind. I say, not exactly, not personally. Well, I'll be honest a bit with you, Decorum. When it comes to nobles, all of the connections came through my mother. I've been there on business, but I've never even actually walked through the city.
Oh, your mother, the one who didn't like Aslandians, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Who is she, if I might ask?
Just some fuddy-duddy, I say.
Is that the message you sent, Ralgo?
No, that's me venting in the chat. I said that at least Asri's fucking curse got removed.
Everyone's did, yeah.
Yeah, but yours got cured that first day. You read the
Fair.
damn message.
You're a smart person, right?
Well, I've gotten good scores.
You know about courting.
Yes, I'm aware of the practice.
Sorry, I meant like the word politics.
The world of politics. Yes, I'm aware of the world of politics.
A district member in Roubel might be related to me, which is why I want to sell these things in his district. Keep him a bit happy, show a bit of interest.
I see. Of course. Of course. I have no quarrel with that.
And
Do you get on
Mom-
well with this family member?
no. No. But I need him. And he'll sort of wave at his sickened state. So, yeah. What worries me is if you do have any connections, loyalties, it might be bad if they interfere with his and we don't know about it.
I see. Well, for any connections I had previously along with my family, I no longer have them, and I've been making great effort to keep it that way. So, I also very much would not want any of my connections mingling with your connections.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Well, learn from this experience. If you ever come across your connections, you might not repeat the mistakes I'm bound to make. Thanks for the talk.
I'll do what I can to help you through this endeavor. I know how difficult it can be to resurface into the life.
Yeah. And Decorm will walk a bit further with his horse to get some distance.
Okay.
Travel, 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 and we travel more.
Flute would also remind Hephe at some point to also maybe do a send when again, let him do all the sendings and stuff he's going to do, but maybe do a sending to that nice wizard woman to maybe give her a heads up on removing Teak's curse when it's convenient.
I mean, she was there, so she knows about the curse that we totally forgot about.
Yeah. And of course, disenchanting or cursing those monocles at some point, but the curses on us were kind of more important.
So yeah, I guess that's up to DM how many times it takes me to, over the course of travels, to get if I also have the monocles or not.
How many monocles do you have?
I don't know if a solid number were ever given. I felt we had good 8 or 10 besides the ones we were wearing. We found like a whole box of them in that drow. We just knew they were cursed. I think the first one was to make sure.
You know what? It's Dungeon Dragon. You have
8
8 of them besides the one you were wearing, so that would be a total of 13.
13.
Well, again, Teak probably kept hers, so let's keep that in mind.
12. 12. And Teak would keep one that's not cursed.
Yep, she already had one that wasn't cursed.
12,
so
one of which isn't cursed.
Alright, so 11 castings, so that's 4 days worth of solid casting, so...
That's because the total travel time would be 5 days. So with the sendings and the restoring of the rest, I'd say that you'd get, let's say, 1 day off. So 3 of them you can remove curse on them.
Cool.
Because these just work. You don't have to roll anything for it.
Woo.
Okay, I say we start with the ones that we're probably going to personally keep just in case we need to see it into the ethereal plane again. Also means we can take take the damn things off.
So, as you at this point not even yet arrive at Roubel, but get close to it, you notice the city was, even though it's originally was probably like just a port city, it has this point it's grown so much that it has overtaken like the hillside nearby, and you can see from behind the walls multiple like fairly large buildings rise up. And on the from where you are going, it'd be on the right side of the city. You can see like this whole like district of like small shanty towns with like the area itself is very large, but all the buildings that are standing there are very small and like made out of just like regular wood that you would find around here. It seems like if a storm would come, that entire part of Roubel would just be disappear, and it's also outside of the walls of the city.
So what time is it the day? Is it as we approach?
As you approach, this would be, I'd say, about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
As you have this site, and it would take you the rest of the day to arrive there.
Gotcha.
So at around 6, you'd be at the gates.
As we enter the gates, I asked Decorm, question: have you ever heard of a place called the Left Stage here? You're from around here, right?
Who are you asking?
Decorm, because I believe he's from Roubel.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of a place called the Left Stage?
Sure.
Roll 20. Are you going to let him?
I imagine you're rolling with disadvantage for your disease now, Cherry?
Yeah.
Okay. With the 3, you kind of like look over, but at that point you kind of feel too sick to care about why she's asking you about the Left Stage.
So he has heard of it. May I ask where it is? And what it is?
You don't know what it is.
Not a clue.
Then how do you know of it?
I was told that I have to go there to acquire something.
Out of curiosity, DM, if they're being like talkative, would I know what that is?
Make a history check with advantage. Also say for everyone with a passive perception over 15, as you went through the gates, you realized that the guards were about to halt you, and then they saw Decorum's Decorum's sigil and his family thing, and they just like, okay, he's if they're with him, it's fine.
Well, he did make a point of not wearing that when entering Roubel.
Oh, okay. In that case,
I wanted another armor just so he was able to not recognize.
Would Fluke have his snoozing watch pin on? And would that help at all?
Well, in that case, they would probably seeing because Decorm would be very sick, so definitely wouldn't approach him. They would probably approach Porcelain as the most familiar looking to to them the most likely to be the leader looking.
Not the horseman in full plate.
No.
Luke is literally giving his guards a cutting look of, bitch, you know who I am.
Do they though?
Yeah, they probably know who you are, but you don't have the same clout that Decorum has.
Yeah, but he's still gonna be indignant about it.
That's fair. With the 15, though, you do know about the left stage. You do know in Decorm, in Roubel, there is a very large opera and a couple of other theaters. And next to that, the largest stage, there is an inn where mostly the actors and other people necessary for the place to go stay when they're here. Like if a troop of bards comes in, they'll usually stay in the left stage.
I know about that. So I'll ask her why would you want to go there? What do you need there?
I don't know. I was just told that there's something there waiting for me.
As a matter of fact, I was planning on going there tonight. I too have some business to attend there.
I mean, sounds like a fun day. He says,
Yay!
as I guess guards are approaching Porson, Miss Jasper. Are they addressing us, or are they just kind of?
They would address a person as, sir or ma'am, I'm not very sure. Could you come with us for the quick registration, please? And tell your folk to wait for a moment.
Are you asking me for me specifically?
Yep.
You've been
Oh.
selected for a random screening.
How fucking fun! Oh, this is not good, guys.
Oh, this is great. Are you kidding me?
Can I tell you're instantly uncomfortable?
Not in front of the guards. No, I mean I try to save face, and I would dismount and I would say, what is the nature of this? We're from Sleeping Watch and with 2 nights as we're on business. Could this
Well,
be
a
quick?
night.
No, 2. There's Asri.
I'm not
Oh,
wearing
The
my
city
pen.
is on. The city is on a high alert, ma'am. So we just need to have a quick form of anyone who enters or leaves the
Why?
city.
Yeah, why is the city on high alert? What's going on?
And he kind of shrugs his. The count of the city told us so. We suddenly have to check all our defenses and everyone at the ready. Trainings have doubled. We're not sure. The city seems to be preparing for something.
I bet it's the fire spirits.
I love it. Hephe just is like, all right, you guys are getting prepared. Good job.
Yes, you see, we're on a very urgent task with the. God, what's the fucking word for it? Sorry, I can't think of the word. The blessing? Is that the blessing? The authority? Yeah, with the authority of the viscount of the snoozing watch.
Okay, well then you can put that on your form, and it will be real quick. Really.
Way out of this, so I just start going, and I kind of like glance back helplessly at everybody else.
Would you like me to accompany you?
I'm not sure you can. I say as I continue
I
going.
accompany you.
Is Lord Orton also in preparation?
From what I understand, he is, but well, Lord Orton is Lord Orton, and he is helping, but not in the way that his father wants him to.
Of course.
That's what the rumor on the street is.
Where can we find him? We need to speak to him immediately.
Well, he should be at his tower.
Okay, where can we find that?
A highest tower in the Arcane District. You can't miss it. It has his name
Okay.
big on it.
Please point to it.
Please point
When-
to it.
Do you know the way to the Arcane District?
Yes, of course.
Well, I can't really. Well, if you walk there to the center, there's a big path to a large tower, and
I mean, could you just take
What
us
is-
there?
Alright, sir, what's your name?
my name's James.
James. Great name.
Great name.
Should have kept it.
At this point, personally, because
Should've
it
kept that
is
jacket.
like really a very short form to fill, like just amount of people, names, occupation, or not occupation, but like what's it called? pleasure of business, as it were.
Oh, I'm not expected to show like papers or anything like that.
No.
Okay, thank God.
As we staying behind the torso and armament of Hephe, be like, don't ask for information from me, please. Don't make me dismount.
So, like, around the same time that you're asking about his name, Porcelain returns having filled in the form.
Great. James, you've been adequately helpful.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be on our way now. Good day.
Of course, sir. And he will immediately move to the next group that's coming in.
I'm too used to U.S. Customs. I thought this was going to be a full-on fucking search where they were going to pull off that wig and be like, hey!
Yeah. All right, you need to be naked now. We're a little too used to different. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, so we make our way
welcome to Roubel.
towards either the. Are we going Magic District first to see the Orton guy, or are we going to the left stage? Good Sir Decorum leading the way.
We're going to the financial district.
It is at this point like 6 p.m. at the
In the evening?
time wise.
In the
In
evening?
the evening, yeah. Yeah.
Well, in that case, let's go to the left stage. Tomorrow morning, I have a visit to make. After that, we can visit the wizard, and hopefully Lord Orton will be able to help us transport to Firetown. Sorry, that's insensitive.
The swamp.
The swamp. Yes, that.
The Lost Swamp.
Person's going to take a hand mirror out of her disguise kit and double check everything that's on her face.
Make sure her face is on. To the left stage.
To the left stage.
It is about an hour's travel to left stage, but it's an inn, so they open very late. It's an inn full of bars, so they open very, very late.
Meanwhile, do we come across a jeweler along the way?
Not an open one.
Things seem to shut down early around these parts, huh?
Is there a closed one?
Yeah.
Okay. Not worth the hassle.
Okay. I got worried there. When we arrive, what do we see, if I may ask? It's dim.
Give me 1 moment.
Ooh, do we get a page? Do we hard?
So as you walk up to the left stage...
Wait. Guys,
Waiting?
Can I have a quick private moment?
With who?
Inside of the... I'm gonna be... There might be a lady waiting for me there. If that's the case, I'd rather not have her scared off by our merry bunch of people. Give me a quick minute, and then you can enter.
You don't want to be associated with us.
Of course I do. I just
Insight.
don't want her to get overwhelmed.
No.
Okay. All seriousness, I get it. We can be a little rowdy sometime. Oh my god, Babel.
Well, I more so just want to know, is this an intended he's interested in, or is it just a lady friend?
Are you about to get slapped and be like, I kind of deserved it?
I'll say Decorum, what does she see with a 23? I'm not gonna have you roll for this one.
Right. In that case, I'm just gonna roll for myself.
That's also fair.
It's okay. With 23, you see his eyes thwarting a bit. He seems it's almost like he just he realized something. Oh shit, wait, and then came up with a story. Like he forgot about something.
Ooh.
Oh, there isn't a lady.
I see. All right. Well, I'll keep it to myself. But I'll say, well, certainly, if you'd like to catch up and do introductions, we can give you a moment.
Yeah, so if you introduce me as any kind of servant, I will stab you.
Jester it is.
You really should have told me that before I sent the letter. With that,
Azri's eyes are gonna narrow when he says that. Who have you told what about us?
I enter the.
Okay. So, still for a for description of the building you're standing in front of, it is a very like almost perfectly like rectangular building and very tall. On the top, its roof is kind of like on an angle to the right, and it kind of almost seems like when you look further to it, it is on the left side. Oh wait, no, so it would be angled to the left as well. But as you look to it, it is on the literally on the left side of the Grand Opera. So where you're standing is very busy, and continuously people are walking around. And the building itself, though, it seems it doesn't seem like how do you say old or unstable, but it does seem a lot less impressive as you'd thought of such an important tavern, as it were. But from the outside, it is like nice, made with marble and stuff like that. But it is also like they've just never bothered to wash any of the walls, as it were.
Ew. Anyone got prestidigitator?
I don't think.
And the corner view as you enter, the inside is almost like the opposite in how much care they've taken of it. It is like it's nice wooden floors and everything is beautiful and perfectly arranged. And interestingly enough, I would say that Decorm does recognize this from like how big the building was that he walked into and how big the area he is in now. It seems to be much bigger on the inside than the outside, and you hear from the from your left side as well a lot of singing and dancing as there's a bar there.
Great. Do I see the poster I sent?
You do.
I'm gonna snatch it off the wall and go to the bar, order. Let's say, Decorm doesn't remember. But how many people? Six red wines. And
Sure.
wait a minute, and then come outside and.
You come outside or we come in?
I got stood up. So I already ordered a glass of wine to drink away my sorrow a bit. Welcome to the left wing stage.
Yep. When he goes in and he says that, like him saying he got stood up is kind of surprising since he's supposed to be royalty. Can I insight you on that one?
You can.
Wait, is he nobility or is he royalty?
Nobility. My
Okay.
bad.
There's a
Royalty would
big
be a
difference.
literal dragon.
Yeah, my apologies. I interchanged those, not.
Well, Decorm, I imagine you'll make the same roll.
How good at deception.
I did not got stood up.
All right, she knows you didn't get stood up, but now she's just gonna be like staring at you, like, yeah, okay.
Out of curiosity,
We all have our secrets.
where did he?
4 days.
Where did he put that whatever poster it was, and what kind of perception check would I need to roll to notice it?
I'd feel like Decorm would be able to hide it in such a way that you can't see it.
I
in,
mean, there's
like,
probably a
backpacks and-
fireplace or something you just tossed it into.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure, he ate it or what?
Just walks into the bar, rips a poster off of the wall, and starts eating it.
I'm gonna say he did that because that seems very much like Decorm. Thank you for
That's
that.
fair. Why am I always sick?
Nom 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 nom.
I should have used more horse bone in this glue.
This ink tastes like garbage.
Okay.
So- The rest of you enter. Same for you. on the left side, there's a lot of noise coming from. On the right ahead of you, there's a small reception area. And on the right of you, you see a wall with multiple different posters and flyers hanging on it.
I go to the barkeep and ask if they have anything for Asri.
The barkeep or the reception?
The reception, I guess. My apologies.
Okay. Let me have a look real quick. And it takes a moment, but he comes back with a very brown package, and it seems to be completely wrapped up, and says, and it has already been paid for. Here you go.
It has already been paid. Thank you.
Did Asri say who told her to come here? I guess.
Nope. She just said that she was supposed to come here and that there's something waiting for her. She wants to return to like wherever, if we're at a table, and start to open it because he said it was already paid for. So.
Yep. As you open it, there is a small pouch inside, and it has a small note with it that explains that this is a diplomat's pouch. And there is another note in it that a certain general has the other, not the other, but also has a diplomat's pouch. And from this point onward, all communication will go through that.
Gotcha.
Who gave you that?
She's going to say it in her head. She's going to type this out in Discord.
How does Esri do that?
What?
Type it out in Discord.
I mean, I did it direct DM, basically. I direct messaged her.
I know.
Why? Because direct message.
Other than that, as you are sitting in the bar, it is very comfortable. There's a lot of music playing. There's a lot of people singing and dancing. And I think Asri would be busy with her. I'd say everyone except for Asri make a perception check. As at least while coming in, you're busy with your
Yeah.
with your package.
I am very, looking at that. Oh, quick question. And side note, when we stopped in Harold's Haven, did I get the scroll of identification? Or I didn't think
identify. Let me check real quick what I had on my notes on. Harold's Haven, that's the wrong one. No, you wouldn't have been able to.
Okay.
Not a lot of magic. You probably would have had people tell you to, hey, in Roubel, there's plenty of
magic
if you're
shops.
heading there, you can probably get it there better.
Gotcha. Just making sure to keep that on the agenda for the next couple days.
Yeah. Hephe, did you want to make a perception check?
Sure.
Technically, don't have to if you don't want to.
That unnatural 0.
You know, natural 0 would be concerning.
I would ask you to stop rolling with that dice.
Oh, very nice.
So, Fluke and Porcelain, as you're sitting and you're kind of getting used to the background noises, as it were, you suddenly realize that it sounds also like among the normal noise of dances, there's hooves tapping on the floor. You're kind of confused by that, and Hephe, you're kind of angled in a better position. You also hear the same thing, and I don't think you would even technically be able to, you wouldn't have seen any before. But you see a satyr, a female satyr, on the floor, also dancing, and Kind of like, yes, satire.
No, I just want to make sure I
Stay
am
there.
understanding it. I just want to make sure.
Later.
Hey man, there's a lot of
And,
types of creatures. I gotta make sure.
She kind of like, she's a lot smaller than the rest of the, because most people here are either dragonborn or human. So, and she's a lot smaller than all of them, so she has both her arms in the air and she's like swinging with different pieces of cloth. And with that, basically has this circle of people around her while she is just doing her thing.
And have
Shoot,
I
a bard
heard?
being bard.
I've never seen one of these. Have I ever heard of one of these, or like any stories?
Make an arcane check. Or history, but whichever you want.
I'm gonna go with history over arcane. Just it's the same modifier.
Nice.
17. You've heard stories. They are very old stories, and they're kind of like myths of satires that are similar to how you are half horse, half man, are half goat, half man. But you would know that those, you aren't sure if they are. You weren't sure if they are real because now you can see one, but you were sure that if they exist, they don't exist in the material plane, or don't live there at least.
And yeah, there's one here in front of me.
And all the people around her do not seem to realize that this is someone weird. They seem to be more like, this is a very energetic, small person.
Interesting. Then I'm gonna wait until the performance is over. Then I'm gonna go up to her.
Okay. The performance is gonna last a while. So is there something anyone wants to do in the or wants to talk about in this bar?
I would actually like to look around and just ensure that there's no sign or advertisement of my connections here.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I
Make
was
a
gonna say
perception check.
that's a good one.
Also, I will say that as you're looking around, to you also see someone like a smaller person dancing in the middle, but to you, she just seems like a small human, as it were.
A halfling.
Yeah,
Natural
taller
20.
than a
I am
halfling,
on the
small.
hunt for this.
To you, it seems more like a half halfling, half human, as it were.
Gotcha.
Half halfling.
All right, but
Twice the half, quarter halfling, quarterling.
A quarterling.
Quarterling.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Let's see. You actually do see a couple of. You do recognize them as older posters. Or at least if you check them out, you notice that they're all older. But for Chiffon had a couple months ago a play here. And Diamond as well.
oh, okay.
Those are like in the 6 to 8 month range ago.
And they're on what? They're on posters on the wall too.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, they're on posters of like.
You say grab and firebolt?
They aren't because there's like a poster of where you were before. There were posters of all the current plays and things, upcoming things, and it seems like the posters that either the bartender likes or that a lot of people like, they put up on the walls in the bar, and there's where you find these.
Oh dear God! So it's in view of everybody. Okay. All right. I'm going to then try to get this party going. So, are we staying here, or do we want to board somewhere else?
Asri, looking up after reading the notes and stuff, will pull out a couple gold and say, well, at the very least, I think we all could use at least food and drink if you're willing to fetch it for us. As she puts the diplomat pack away.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll get us
well-
something to eat.
Flukes-
As
Flukes
we
could-
would like to go ahead.
You can go first.
I was just gonna say I would like to see if she can notice those posters.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, I already am aware of the
Um,
deep secret.
At this point, would you be actively looking for them?
No, I think what I would be doing, honestly, is just perceiving to see what interesting is going on. So I probably would notice the little girl, if anything, huh?
What's your passive perception?
19.
Okay, with the 19, I'll say, as you look around, to you, the girl also sounds like you do also hear the tapping of like hooves, but the girl does seem like a human.
Probably wearing tap shoes.
And if you're kind of looking around a bit, like what's there more, you do notice the poster of Diamond, I'll say. That's a bit bigger one, bit more prominent one.
Asri will say in your head, drinks for everyone, and pull out a platinum for you to go and buy drinks for everyone.
In your
can't.
head, I'm going to say, so are we going to stay here or can we go somewhere else after we're done eating?
Decorum, how bad did you want to stay here tonight? Because I've got my need for being here.
It really depends on. My guest hasn't arrived yet. I was planning on sleeping here.
I'll say back in your head, sorry.
And Decorm was grabbing drinks and food?
Yeah.
Porcelain, could you maybe walk with me?
Certainly.
Sorry, Fluke.
And at the bar, I'll order just a good plate of food for everybody: potatoes, meat, vegetables, another round of wine. And I'll ask the bar, is there anybody who seems to be the manager?
From back in the kitchen, you can hear someone yelling a lot, but they also don't sound like they want to be disturbed.
Yeah.
And other than that, there's a couple of waiters that are walking around, but the bartender seems to be like the head of the bar itself.
Lady or girl? Lady or girl? Lady or boy? Or anything in between?
It seems this is an older man, balding. He has a very big smile continuously on his face, and he seems to kind of make a show out of it every time he walks, because he's quite fat and.
I certainly hope so.
Like he's quite fat, and he sometimes has at some parts difficulty like maneuvering between the bar. So he kind of makes a show out of it to try and do it on the beat and or on the beat on the music, and he seems to be trying to entertain the guests as much as he can.
Good sir, good sir.
What can I do for you?
Nice plate of dinner, red wine for that table over there. And did you receive the letter of Decorm of Roubel?
That would be more of the receptions deal, but I believe there was some poster that mentioned something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at it myself, but there were a lot of people being very interested in the offer.
Okay.
We're gonna have to need additions. Assuming you're the call.
I am. Porcelain, would you like to take these additions with me? I think
You
your
say my
eye-
name in front of him, and it looks like my soul left my body.
Wait, does Decorm say that name, or is that just Cherry?
That was Cherry. I'm gonna leave it up to Bethel if she wants me to say Porcelain, because it sounds like it's gonna be funny, or if she wants me to say James.
No, if you weren't intending to say it in character, then no.
No. Jasper, your eye of detail might be very important in what I'm looking for. Quick catch up. I'm trying to find some artist for my patronage, because, well, as my life is right now, just want to enjoy every single moment as much as I can. A little bit of music is never out of the way.
Man of my words.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Is this something you would be up for?
You're
I
asking.
imagine that was to.
Yes,
Forster?
yes. I'm just trying to gather what you're asking me here. You're asking me for my opinion of finding good entertainment for you?
Helping me with the auditions?
Oh, with auditions. Yeah, certainly. I can lend an opinion.
Great. Wonderful. Do you have contact information? Are these regular guests? I asked the barman, not Porcelain.
Well, most of them stay here. Because you didn't leave any contact information, right?
No.
Okay, so he'll say, some people have left as they moved on, but if you inform the reception, they'll know everyone who wants to know.
Great.
They can send you to the right artists.
Okay, well, I'll go talk to the receptionist and schedule it for in the morning.
All right, and he points at the table where you were sitting. Food and drinks over there, right?
Indeed.
I put down.
That will be 6 silver pieces.
Well, I'll put down the platinum, and I say, consider it paid forward. Keep the drinks coming, especially for the small redhead.
Oh, of course. With this kind of money,
We'll also
you
be
look
needing.
like you can protect yourself, so I won't give that warning. But if you'd like to, you can walk to the reception and tell them that you already paid for rooms. I'll confirm it if they ask.
Very well
And
then.
he puts the platinum away.
Would this also asking DM? Would this also cover rooms for the night, or do we need to shell out
That's
some more
what
for
he-
that?
That's what he just said.
You know, if only
Like-
my ears worked well.
He basically said, like, with this kind of money you're paying, if you want rooms, you have them.
And unless the lady from the reception is a twat, so can we say that we go there and arrange the rooms and arrange the additions for in the early morning? No, not the early morning.
Yeah.
11 o'clock morning.
I let Decorm do all of the
Brunch.
talking.
Yeah, that's fair, because otherwise it's gonna take way too long. So, anything you want to do before you go to bed?
Nope. Azra will drink. Actually, no. She will actually want to go and because I believe she has some silver. Let me look at my character sheet. She has silver and copper, so she will throw a couple silver, 2 silver towards the lady that's dancing.
Wow.
Hey man, I assumed that everyone was throwing for the performance. Is that not what this is?
No.
My bad. I don't do that then. I, as a player, misunderstood. This is like when a bard puts on a performance to get money. I didn't realize it was... I don't know.
It's so great.
I didn't think stripper. I was literally thinking, like, whenever I play a bard, I always put on performances at ends to try and get gold. So, like, I thought that's what was going on. And, like, wait, this is a character that we can meet. It's an interesting, like, a new, like, you know?
Oh yeah, Hephe went up to talk to her when her performance
Yeah.
was over.
Yeah, is it
you
over?
you could join him.
Yeah, I'll just join
I'd say
Hephe.
around the time that you're close to done with your food, the performance is over, and Hephe and Ezra can approach her.
I do have to say I've never seen nobody dance like that before.
I haven't. That's very what's the word? She seems to generally, like, for a moment, like, need to think of it. It's common in where I'm from.
And where exactly is that? I didn't think that all the stories never said that that you people exist and that you were on our realm.
Oh, well, I'm on a grand journey to find, how do you tell it? Important people? Strong Strong people.
I'm a strong person, and I think I'm pretty important, aren't I, Ezri?
Well, your name is literally boss, so yes.
How is it so?
Yeah, my name's Hephe Silver Blossom.
Oh, my name is, and I have to look up her name because, of course, I forgot.
My name is the game popped up name, this NPC. Bing, bing.
My name is Ariti.
Ahiti? Ariti, okay. And why are you looking for strong people, Ariti?
And she kind of looks. Well, no, she'll look you a little bit over and says, "Well, there is a big event coming up."
Is it fire spirits?
Yeah, is it anything to do with fire?
No, fire. No, nothing to do with fire. Maybe, nothing to do with fire.
Which one is it? Nothing or maybe?
I can't guarantee fire spirits won't be involved, but the main thing isn't fire spirits.
Okay, well, what is it?
Have you ever heard of the Thorn Games? She looks like very expectantly at you.
Swear to God, if this is your world's version of Olympics and there's halfling throwing,
Well,
what would we roll for that?
What do I roll?
Arcane.
For the Thorn Games, okay. I'm assuming I don't know shit.
With a 5, you've never heard of that. With a 15, and also for you, it would be more common to have heard of it. You have heard tell about it a long time ago. And with a long time ago, like a ridiculously long time ago, a group of the elven parts of your clan went to the Feywild to not compete in the Thorn Games, but to witness a part of the Thorn Games, and they came back years later.
Oh yeah, I've heard the story of those. A couple of our elves and from where I come from, they went and saw those games the one time.
Well, they're about to happen again.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
And this time, people from this plane are sort of allowed to compete.
Okay, and what happens if we win?
She looks at Hephe
don't know. So it's a bit of a new concept. Here, let me. And she's like sits down and she suddenly grabs a satchel and grabs a couple of papers out of that. So it's a bit of a new thing, and we're not really sure yet how to properly introduce it. It will be the first time. So if you win, you have the glory of that.
Okay.
But, and she starts kind of looking at both of you. You said you're strong, right?
I've got my strengths. I'm not muscle strong, but I'm rather fast, rather quick, and rather accurate.
I mean, I'm decently strong.
Hike, if I were to put you in a room with a Hydra, would you be able to either kill it or escape?
Kill it? No. Escape? Possibly. In fact, I would wager that I'd probably be able to escape, but fight it? Oh dear God, no. I mean, unless we have all of us here, and like I gesture to the group, and then I don't know if how many of us would die in the process, but we might be able to kill it.
That sounds like an adventure.
Wait, that's all of you? Oh, you have much more than just 2.
Oh yes.
Oh, then your chances
join
are
us
much
at our
better.
table.
I was already counting you out. She'll actually move up to the rest of you and just sit down at your table and start explaining.
Hey everyone.
Hi
Raise a glass
guys,
of
I
wine
want
for
you to introduce you to my satyr friend, Ariti.
No.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
You're a satyr.
She nods.
Wonderful. I'm a dragonborn,
I see.
but that's
There's a lot of those here.
yes, unfortunately.
Luke just raises a glass of wine, right?
And she, for a moment, like very excitedly, like starts staring at all of you and says, "Oh, that's fun." So, I will say, teams are at 6 people. So, you're either gonna need to find someone, or you're gonna be randomly assorted with someone. And if you do that, then we can't guarantee that there's someone who wants to join your team or who you want to join your team. So then it's not guaranteed that you can compete.
2 things. First and foremost, thank you for explaining that. First of all, we're more curious as to what these games are before we sign up to compete.
Oh,
We got more junkers.
Mo!
But he's part of her.
What?
I see those things.
Lord Chonkers looks at Asri, looks
Are
at her,
you?
and is like, "Mo!" like wiping a tear from his eye, kind of laughter, like, "Oh, you mean she's part of me?" Mo!
Same thing. Well, there are there's a total of 12 rounds, and I can tell you about 3 of them. The rest is a surprise that you have to like figure out as you hear it right before you do the challenge.
I mean, that sounds mighty great and all, but what does that have to do with stopping fire spirits or getting me back to the Lost Swamp?
I don't think she knows about that.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Hephe, we just want to hear about the games. I don't think we're actually going to compete or anything.
I know, but she's talking about like we're gonna be in them.
I think that's just a salesman thing. She may not know how to phrase it otherwise. Different languages and all.
You assume the
Thing
sale
is,
and people
like,
tell
you have
other
still a
things.
lot of time, so if you're not sure about if you can do it, you can just wait and then find me later, and then you can go anyway.
So go ahead, tell us about the first 3 matches
So,
of these games.
okay, the first round is a fairly simple horse race. You all step on a carriage and you choose a creature that is gonna run your carriage, and the teams with the fastest total time win.
Looking at Hephe. All right.
You could probably pull your own card.
All right.
He doesn't need a
It's
card.
probably
He can
allowed.
pull it himself.
Now,
Then, oh,
well, I
What
was
were you gonna
going to question. Let's say the carriage race is it simply a test of skill, or is there do the other participants interfere in any way?
in the later rounds they will, but in the first round they won't. But you can like boost each other. The first 3 rounds really are just like making sure that people who won't die are competing. Like, we had a couple of deaths earlier, and we don't want that again.
Yep. You make it an honest but hard sell. Like, do we really want to know
Okay.
all the challenges?
So
Don't-
here's the big thing, and this is, I've been told that if I tell this to the people of the material plane, that then all of them want to join.
Big for you or big for me?
Right, well.
She holds her hands like kind of out this big, and she says, for every challenge you do, you get points, and you can spend those points to get stuff, but not just that type of stuff. And she points to probably to Decorm's armor, but also this type of stuff. And she like flicks with both her hands, and like flowers and illusions of all kinds of things start popping out.
Ah.
So,
And if you get
magic.
further and get more points, you can get amazing stuff.
Magical items. Amazing. I love it. I like it. And we will maybe be able to compete in it if we haven't saved the world by then, but we need to stop fire spirits first.
How do we sign up?
Well, the sign up is a thing. Like as soon as you do it, you're supposed to like go there. So if you still have things to do, you probably can't. But I have this coin here, and she hands you what looks to be, at first glance, it seems to be just a regular bronze coin. But as you notice, as you touch it, it is completely like smooth and it's a lot heavier than you'd expect. And it says, if you just flip this, or if you break this coin, either me or another representative will appear and you can beat.
Thank you.
Oh,
Very
you
much.
will also have to pick a court because we want to in the future make this a part of the real games. So you'll have to pick a court of the Feywilds to represent, so your points then can go to their points in the real games.
Okay. Yeah, like Azri's like, oh, we have to.
It doesn't change much for your own thing. It's just a matter of who's going to try to sabotage you and who's trying to help you.
And
Are we
we're not allowed
talking-
to represent the mortal coil.
Or Lord Chonkers.
Yeah, see, I was going to say, can I just represent Lord Chonkas? Mo.
You can communicate with Lord Chonkers, right?
Yes.
Lord Chonkers would probably communicate to you that he is a part of the Court of Thistles.
The Court of Thistles. Hold on, I have to ask Slumperd something real quick. Is this hold on? Is this still in the same world that was we've been playing in all your campaigns? And
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, of course.
why does my character always get something from Court of Thistles?
No, last time you got an other court.
It was
You're
the
just
Court
being
of
manipulated
Blueberry.
by
It was
court.
the court. It was the Court of Blueberries, which was controlled by the Court of Thistles.
I wonder how Eldigan is doing, if he's still trapped in a mace or whatever.
You know what? It's all good. Thank you. She's gonna look at Lord Chonkers and be like, "Oh, you're the leader of the Court of Thistles." No.
He's not the leader.
Yeah.
She'll just kind of say that to herself, but like just loud enough for everyone to hear it.
Mo. Like silence.
Well,
Yes, yeah.
thank you for this very confusing explanation. Will shall I just break the coin down, because this sounds like fun. This sounds like something.
I would
No,
like
no,
us to do
no,
as well.
she-
Yes.
We have an agenda.
She was still explaining challenges to us. But
We have the
I
third
want
one.
to know
though.
them.
Unless somebody is stopping it, I'm breaking it.
It doesn't breaking it just summon her?
Yeah, that just
Yeah.
summons her.
Oh. Well, I'm still
Yeah.
breaking it.
No.
Asri will try to stop you.
I will try and slide a hand out away from him. Just like,
I was just about to try the same thing.
The both of you make sleight of hand check with disadvantage as you're sitting at the table and Decorm is just like right next to her and just like all he has to do is move his fingers as
God.
it were.
20, pretty good. Let's see how well we're both the same in sleight of hand.
Please, good. Okay. As
20,
long as one of us gets it from him, that's all I care
Yeah.
about.
Like just barely in time, Fluke manages to like snip out the coin from Decorum's hand.
It's like,
Oh, that was a nice
What?
catch. That
why can
Oh,
you not
wait.
be responsible with things? It's not very knightly, sir.
Does he?
I honestly regret telling you everybody that. I'm trying to share
Uh,
you. I'm trying to be a nice person, and everybody is treating it off my head. I'm doing my best here, okay?
Yeah,
Die.
I will admit,
me
there's
a
you guys
fucking
have
break.
been bringing that up an awful lot, and I feel like he hasn't inherently done anything
Yeah.
unknightly, honestly.
and Fluke technically doesn't even know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been mentioning a lot. It's been brought up a lot.
Yeah, it's
I
been
brought it
Hefe's
up
mentioned.
twice.
Was it twice or thrice? I feel like there was a third time.
No idea.
It's been enough. Like what?
I brought it up with the armor, and then I brought it up.
I know I called
doesn't
you
matter.
rude about it the second time because it was over something trivial. I feel.
It was beginning of this session.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the beginning of the session.
That was probably the third time.
Oh yeah, the trying to convince the genie that bitch was a proper good
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, and that is not knightly.
Okay, I didn't call him not knightly on that. I just said that's rude, Decorm. He's an ally.
Luke's just gonna
Okay.
flick the coin for a sec, just like, I mean, Ezra, we all regret to be saying things we said when we were drunk. I mean, that's just life.
Correct, but some things aren't supposed to be used against us like that.
Nor was I drunk.
Nor was he drunk. Wait, what?
Hmm.
She looks up. You just sat there and watched all of us get drunk?
Yes.
Cheeky dick waffle. I like it. High five.
You are the most entertaining fellas I've ever met.
Why is he allowed to
I
do
spent-
that? Why aren't I allowed to do that?
Because he's been drunk before, you hadn't been. It's an experience. I'm not going to force you to get drunk ever again, I promise. Plus, you started drinking
So,
before I got there.
I feel like I'm kind of walking into something here, but
No.
I'm gonna leave. But before I do that, I still have one thing to tell you because I have to. During the event, you also get points for stealth. So if you do things like jumping over the table like you did, definitely do that because it's basically just as important as being good at the games. Bye-bye.
Bye!
And she runs away. No, not runs away, but she kind of hops away.
I immediately imagine that as this kind of person who just throws up a towel and runs away as it is a disappearing act. But
Yes.
Like they try to disappear, but you still see them running off.
exactly.
That's basically what she did.
I love it.
She did the fake poof, and then you just saw her 15 feet away, like just hopping away.
The face step, just like, okay, I'm over here. Bye. Just like the vanish of the like,
So,
style points sound fun, though. I mean,
They
like
do.
that kind of thing.
are we doing anything else for the night then? Or is it just room time? Because I would like to study my book a little bit more and lie down.
I should also sleep.
I'm going to wait till everybody goes to bed, and then I may do a bit of waltzing around the joint.
Asri will wait for basically someone that I think. When does Hephe go to bed?
Probably pretty early.
I will cuddle Hephe that evening.
Luke will want to stay up a little bit and glance over your book. He's taking an interest.
Decorm will walk to your rooms and they'll say, Ezra,
Yes.
Ezra,
Yes.
you maybe want to cuddle me tonight?
Sure. She'll smile.
Are you lonely?
Thank you.
So you do all have separate rooms if you want them. I'm not sure how Decorm would have arranged for those.
I think he knows Azri. I think he would have booked 5 or 4 rooms.
Yeah.
He's been traveling with me for at least a month at this point because it's 2 weeks, give or take, through to just to hit Roubel. So yeah, he knows I cuddle.
And with that, with Porcelain waltzing in the tavern and the rest of you going to bed, I suggest we end the session there.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.